into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Well, a very big good morning to you. Yes, it is Monday. A brand new week is upon us, which means a brand new lineup of feel-good moments. Can you imagine where this week is going to head? But let me tell you a bit more about today. From the Springboks' explosive face-off against the Barbarians to Brad Pitt burning rubber in the much-anticipated F1 movie, let me tell you that we've got your weekend sports but also entertainment roundup covered. I can't wait to get into that F1 chat. The movie, magnifique. It was so good. Now we're also unpacking one of the hottest and scariest possibly tech trends right now. It's all about the AI voice cloning and the growing world of scam culture. You won't want to miss that. So please do stick around, Expresso fam. And then to just put the cherry on top of it all, we're building up to a musical moment of note with a preview of the Stellenbosch International Chamber Music Festival. It's definitely going to be one not to miss. And then just in time for the school holidays, the genie is out of the bottle, baby, as Canal Walk's magical new Aladdin production lights up the stage for families across the Mother City. A definite good show that is at hand right now, but let me tell you that I'm not alone. Yes, it is me, it is you, but it is also G-Mad. Good morning, Graham.
Good morning, my friend. I'm just wondering what has prompted this facial expression this morning. How can we be so confused and conflicted? Of course, that's what we love when we start a heavy conversation on the socials. Good morning from my side as well. Thank you so much for choosing to start your week with us. And as Carissa alluded to, yep, this is something that is starting to affect a lot of people in a lot of different ways. AI can seem like a very big, scary thing, can also be quite helpful, but we want to put it to you guys this morning. What is one way that AI has already made your life easier or maybe a little more difficult? Now that we're sinking a little deeper into the AI culture, what fallout are you seeing? What dangers do you see around the corner? Or how is it making your life easier? We'd love to hear how you are using it right now. Maybe your colleagues are using it. Maybe your classmates are using it in some devious way. We want to know from you. 063-036-9649. That's the number to use. And if you're going to hit us up on the social streets, hashtag Expresso wherever you go. So yeah, start that conversation. We'll check in with you as we go. Got a couple of other conversation starters in the sports. Again, as Carissa alluded to, the Springboks doing brilliantly against the Barbars, but let's get our news and sporting headlines in.
Thank you so much, Graham. Yes, we're entering into today with a winning spirit, but let's get that news out the way. Your national news headlines start here, where Gauteng's Finance MEC Lebogang Maile confirmed the provincial government will make a second payment to National Treasury today towards the province's e-toll debt. Now, after the e-toll system was scrapped last year due to public opposition, Gauteng was expected to cover 30% of the total debt, with the national government covering the remainder. Now, the first installment of 3.8 billion rand was paid last year as part of the ongoing efforts to clear the outstanding balance. Second to news in that province, the Gauteng Health Department denied claims of a backlog of unprocessed bodies at Helen Joseph Hospital due to printer cartridge shortages. Now, only one body declared dead on arrival last Wednesday remains in mortuary, with the family now informed. Printing delays occurred between the 17th and the 23rd of June due to delayed service payments, but contingency plans ensured 5 pending cases were processed by the 24th of June. The department confirmed no current delays affecting mortuary processing. Let's take a look further afield at your international news making headlines, where Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo signed a peace agreement in Washington, targeting the disarmament and conditional integration of armed groups in eastern DRC. Now, while details remain limited and past deals have faltered, U.S. and Congolese leaders heralded the treaty as a historic breakthrough. The deal follows an earlier, quote, declaration of principles and was signed at the U.S. State Department, with hopes it will bring lasting stability and open economic opportunities, including U.S. access to regional minerals. Meanwhile, Israel has ordered Palestinians in northern Gaza to evacuate ahead of intensified military operations, with residents told to move south towards Al-Mawasi. Recent attacks killed at least 86 people, including children, as bombings destroyed homes and displaced thousands. U.S. President Donald Trump renewed calls for a ceasefire and hostage negotiations between Israel and Hamas. The Israel Defense Forces say operations aim to eliminate terrorist infrastructure, even as mediators seek to end to the conflict and safe release of hostages. And closing up with some wedding bells as Jeff Bezos and Lawrence Sanchez entered their lavish three-day wedding celebration in Venice with a spirited pajama-themed party at the historic Arsenal. Guests like Oprah Winfrey, Kim Kardashian, Leonardo DiCaprio and Usher danced in designer robes and left with cashmere sweaters labeled legendary. The couple reportedly exchanged vows in a private ceremony that was at Giorgia Maggiore, wrapping their $50 million festivities in style. While the celebration dazzled Venice, some couldn't help but reflect on the world beyond the glittering canals. But still, for a few days, it was all about love, laughter, and of course, La Dolce Vita. That is where we leave your 6 o'clock news on a good note. Let's hope the same carries in the world of sports. Here's Graham giving you the latest.
Oh, my friend, what a jumping off point. Let's start with some of the good news first, at least. And, of course, the Springboks in fine form, kicking off their international season with a dominant 54-7 win over the Barbarians in a rainy Cape Town on Saturday. Coach Rassie Erasmus called it a solid start, with selections for the upcoming tests against Italy and Georgia now already planned as a result. And the Boks scoring 8 tries in an emphatic victory. So next for the boys in green and gold will be the Italians at Loftus, and that's this coming Saturday, the 5th of July, and that kicks off at 10 minutes past 5. Now, staying with rugby news, it just gets better. The Junior Springboks opened their Under-20 championship with a commanding 73-17 win over Australia. Quite a score margin. Coach Kevin Foote praising the team's fitness in tough conditions with 11 tries scored. South Africa now turn their focus to a key Pool A showdown up against England on Friday, and that's in Rovigo. Now on to some incredible club football being played on an international level. Paris Saint-Germain thrashed Inter Miami 4-0 in Atlanta to reach the Club World Cup quarterfinals. João Neves scoring twice with Achraf Hakimi and Thomas Abel's own goal completing the routing. So Lionel Messi's side outclassed, despite having some classy players there. But the European champions, just too much for them on the night. And as a result, they go on to face Bayern or Flamengo in the next round. Now let's get back on the track as Lando Norris continues his incredible year, claiming a dominant win at the Austrian Grand Prix, leading McLaren's first 1-2 finish in 2021 with teammate Oscar Piastri coming in at second. So Norris controlled the race from pole position while Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, he completed the podium. And championship leader Max Verstappen crashing out early, tightening that title race ahead of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone next weekend. And of course, we know one particular driver on that track with the name Lewis loves a little Silverstone win, so we'll watch that space with relish. But right now, let's see what the weather has in store for our brand new week.
Thank you so much, G-Man. Let's get into your weather for the first time this morning. While there are no severe weather warnings for today, residents in Cape Town and Gauteng should brace for planned water outages. Now, Cape Town's Water and Sanitation Directorate will begin 9-hour shutdowns from today, affecting areas like Durbanville, Santakral, Wellington, Claremont, and parts of Atlantis later in the week. In Gauteng, Rand Water will start phased maintenance from tomorrow up until the 18th of July, impacting Johannesburg, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, and nearby municipalities. Now, Rand Water says the work is carefully scheduled to minimize disruption, but low pressure or even outages are expected in affected areas. Well, let's get into that sunrise view to kickstart this hour, and this one from Umbilo out in Durban was captured by Dave. Absolutely beautiful how you timed this so well, Dave, to catch the daybreak of that sun just waking up, wiping the sleep out its eyes, and saying a very good morning to you out in Durban and to the rest of South Africa. You'll be rewarded with 23 degrees today. It's always looking so good on the side of Durbs, and we wish you a beautiful day, Dave, as well as you, Expresso fam, and we hope and cross fingers that your temperatures are also looking good on your side of town. For now, though, 063-036-9649 is that number to take down for you to snap away to see what your side of town looks like.
moderate-ish,
Not
despite a
bad.
bit of weather, but please don't leave your house just yet. 3 hours, we got you, and we want to keep you right here in our lounge. Morgan Newman is here. He
Yes,
looks
yes.
great. He knows a huge amount about rugby, and he's really fit. So we're going to use him in every way that we can this
Oh my
morning,
goodness.
okay?
I just feel like no DNA, just RSA. That's kind of the mantra that I'm pushing
Wow.
today. Because what a win with South Africa. And I'm
Dominance, eh?
hoping that I'll also be able to be a champion with Morgan Newman. I'm a little bit scared. I saw his quads. I saw his biceps.
But he's always been like that. He's just, don't take it personally. He's just naturally gifted. No, he's a wonderful guy, and he's got a lot to share in the fitness space. And yes, of course, the Springboks and the Junior Boks are on fire this weekend. We'll get his, as a rugby player's perspective after this.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. It's like a rugby match unfolding around me as we speak in the morning. Why? Because we are energized after seeing the Springboks set the tone for their season ahead. Their clash this weekend at a rain-soaked DHL Stadium. Oh, they put their hands up. They absolutely thumped the Barbarians 54-7. Standout performances, Tarassi's, I think, evolving game plan, maybe some signs of something shifting there. Plenty to unpack after a commanding Springbok victory. And Morgan Newman is here from Good Hope FM. And just because rugby, okay? Just because of rugby. I think you exist because of rugby, Brew.
Spot on.
And you might feel that on a Monday morning like this. I feel so bad. First of all, good to see you, dude. Thank you so much for being here. Crack of dawn. How are you, guy?
Yeah, good to see you too, man. Yeah, very good to be here. Monday morning, early start, but after a weekend like that, it's always a good Monday after the Boks perform the way they did.
Exactly, and I feel bad now because I was trying to pump the Barbarians up before the weekend, thinking, oh, they've got 2 weeks, it's a small squad, 21 players or something, but the bromance is going to be strong. They're in one kind of mode, the chemistry is strong. Wow, the Springbok team didn't look like they've taken a season off, and the youngsters standing up. So talk me through how you felt about that performance, man.
Yeah, well, you know, it's twofold. Number one, I think, you know, the mistake the Barbarians made firstly was picking a bunch of New Zealanders to come to Cape Town for a week, have a jaw, and then try to play the Springboks, you know?
So the bromance was maybe too strong.
Too strong. I think the bromance was too strong. Saw them getting festive throughout the week. But then, you know, you look at the performance of the Boks. I mean, such a, you know, one would almost say polished performance so early on in the season. They have had plenty of camps. Rassi's done really well at keeping these guys relevant to his thinking. You know, he's had them sort of even on, I hear that they even do sort of, you know, just meetings online and stuff like that. So the performance, he picked a team that I thought he definitely was a lot stronger than I initially thought he would go with. You know, normally they go with testing guys against Barbarians.
We thought this was an experimental side. That looks like they've been experimenting together for about 6 months. That being said, any standout players, youngsters, obviously Sasha, always good.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if he feels pressure, but there would have been more pressure on his shoulder for this one. How did he stand up in the number?
Yeah, without a doubt, you know, lots of eyes are on Sasha. You know, I sat in the press conference and Rassie spoke a lot about, you know, trying to find, Sasha's finding that balance between the exuberance of youth and just the freedom that he plays with. The expression, and then also trying to stick into the Springbok game plan, you know. So I think he did it really well for large periods. I thought Mani Liebok came on and replaced him and really showed also a mature performance. But you talk about stand-up performances, then you probably look at a guy like Cheslin Colby without a doubt. I mean, you know, there's this old debate, him and Dupont, the best rugby player in the world currently. I mean, he's head and shoulders above everyone that I've seen it play the game
in every position.
You know, and he switches it on so well. You know, I mean, he comes from Japan League. The rugby's not as quick. You know, they're probably playing a completely different style. He comes on and puts a Bok jersey on and completely changes things up.
Well, have you noticed how the Japan League just rose when he got there? So maybe he's just got this way.
No, he's got a massive aura about him, and I think the same. You know, a guy like Loet Jager hasn't been part of the box setup that much.
Welcome back.
Isn't it great to see him back? I mean, that lock. There's only 2 places that they can pick, and there's about 3 or 4 locks that are really performing well at the moment.
And each of them offering utility. I think what I loved about that, and Loet kind of had this, when Peter Steff found that next dimension of rugby for the rest of us, Loet wasn't like, okay, well, I'm going to take a step. He's like, I'm going to go meet him there, and I'm going to make myself utility. And we've got so many utility-based players now. Andre Esterhuizen, what role is his? How is he going to be used? Because we're used to just seeing battering ram, but shifting now.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading, there's this new hybrid role that Rassie's talking about, which is not wrong. I mean, if you stand next to the guy, he's a man mountain. He's a monster, you know what I mean? So he definitely can fulfill a role. You know, people always talk about this 7-1 split that Rassie used on the bench potentially. Now he can go with a 6-2 split and still potentially look as a 7-1 because he's got Andre Esterhuizen, can cover flank, can cover wing, can cover center.
He can join the bomb squad. It's okay. You're allowed.
You know what I mean? So between himself and Kwagga, they really can play sort of, you know, 1 to 8, and then if one feels like 9 to 15.
I think they just sit there thinking, what's going to mess with world rugby? What's going to irritate that one guy in world rugby so much that it's going to throw him off his game? And this looks like that kind of move. Now, I love it. So many past experiments. Italy coming up. We can't take our foot off the pedal. We've seen what they can do in Six Nations. It's a young side that loves to prove they can express themselves as well. Does he experiment again with Italy? Does he try to lock down the core of that team? Have our Bulls, our URC stars kind of rested enough? How do you see that Italy game?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, you know, firstly, great start. You know, it's very easy for you to sort of veer off the track if you want to play an experimental side against the Barbos. And so I think he'll go with much of the same. You know, I think he's going to go with exactly, I don't think the backline will change much. If I look across the board, maybe at 9, they might come in, you know, might be a change at 9. Warner van der Berg played well, but I think there might be a change there. Outside of that, I think, you know, the core group of the Springbok squad is pretty self-explanatory.
I think once they get 50 plus, you've got to kind of give them a run on next week. I think
exactly. So what I think he'll do is I think he'll probably go with our strongest side in this first test match, get the momentum going again, and then do experimental changes within the experience. So, you know, between the centers, there might come a little bit of an inexperienced
just to mess with
try.
Rugby.
Exactly, yeah.
But you used an important word there, test. And lest we forget, this is international. This is build up towards another World Cup. This is squad development. And clearly, looking at the way the youngsters, the newly returned, the injured all performed, the squad looks deep and the squad looks good. Just like Carissa's squats this morning. No, I'm not trying to manifest squats or burpees for Carissa this morning, or for you, buddy, because it's early. I'm going to send you on your way to go and do a little bit of fitness because look at those shorts. Every day is leg day on your Feel Good Breakfast show. My girl, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm dodging a bullet this morning.
It's okay. That's me catching it. I'll get you a bullet. Don't worry, Gray. I'm excited about this because I want to get my body moving on this Monday morning along with you, Expresso fam. And Morgan Newman is the perfect guy to pull on through with it. I told you, I saw the calves, I saw the biceps. I said, okay, I'm either in good hands or some very scary hands. But either way, I know that I'm going to have a fantastic time along with him. Are you okay there?
Okay, it looks like I'm okay. I'm going to hold the mic.
I think you're going to have to hold the mic.
Yeah, we can hold the mic, so that's fine.
We got you covered. Don't worry, Morgsy. We'll get into it. I've been practicing my squats. I've been practicing my push-ups. I could do at least 3.
Only 3?
You know?
Okay, well, today, I think what we're going to do is we're going to... when I said I'm working with you, I thought I want to make it easier.
Don't make it easy. Make it medium.
All right, so we'll make it medium. It'll be medium hard. But what I generally like to do on a Monday morning
Tell me.
is so there's two different. I'm going to do some two leg exercises. So two exercises from the waist down. We'll do 2 upper body exercises, and then of course, getting close to my age now, I feel like I need to work the love handles. You know, so we're going to do.
You can work those.
We're gonna work those today as well.
Cool.
So, okay, to start with, very simply, we're just gonna do reverse lunges. So you know what a reverse lunge is? You're gonna reverse lunge. You're gonna drop your knee. That's what I like to do to start with.
Without touching the ground, right?
Without touching the ground. So we're going to do, before we completely do that, I'm going to tell you exactly what the workout is, and then I'll tell you how we're going to do, right?
Thanks
Then
for
we're
giving
going
me a break.
Then we're going to do some air squats, okay? But air squats, it's very easy to do normal squats and just try and get it over and done with. This one we're going to do pushing through your heels, so you're going to pretend to be pushing through the ground as opposed to trying to lower your body.
Show me.
And you're going to make sure your knees don't go above your toes. So you're just going to be doing that, and you're going to be doing that, right?
Okay.
Very simply, we're going to do that. You can do this in an AMRAP, or we can do it in just, so AMRAP stands for as many rounds as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Then we're going to go down, we're going to do normal push-ups, then we're going to do close grip push-ups.
Okay.
Can you do close grip push-ups? I'm not quite sure.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go down, I'll show you how. We're going to do wide push-ups like this, shoulder width apart. Again, shoulders don't go ahead of the ahead of your hands, and you're going to just drop down there.
Nice, Morgan.
Right? And then you're going to come closer and train the triceps, and we do the same thing.
Very good.
Okay, we're going to do those. And then lastly, the love handles we spoke about. You're going to be in a plank position, and we're just going to rotate.
Oh, I've seen those,
Okay,
yes.
hip touches. You can pretend there's a ball underneath your belly button, and you're just going to try and touch on either side.
All right, quit yapping, y'all. Let's get into it.
let's go.
So we start with the
we're gonna
reverse lunges.
Yeah,
Let's
so
go.
you're just going to do 5 each side, for lack of, right? 1.
That was 1?
That's
okay.
2 now.
Oh, I see, I see.
Each side, right?
Yes, you're right.
That's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. Now you're going to get into the air squats, as I explained, pushing through your heels, knees not above your head of your toes. So not like this.
Yes.
You're going to go into that position there. Feel the difference?
I think
Okay,
so.
we'll just do 5 of them as well.
Whew.
That's 3.
That actually feels nice.
Yeah, keep the chest up and keep your backside down, pushing through your heels, heels pushing through the floor. Okay, got that. Now we're gonna go down into this position over here. You can do ladies push-up on your knees if you like. Otherwise, alternative there, make sure your shoulders don't go ahead of your hands.
Okay.
So if you're gonna do ladies push-ups, you're gonna go there. You're gonna just drop down there for me. I'll do normal ones and we'll do 5.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now you're gonna go close grip.
Okay.
Come a little bit closer.
like a triangle?
Yeah, these are gonna
Okay.
be quite hard. And you're gonna try and let your chest touch your hands.
My chest must touch my hands.
You're gonna try? Can you?
Okay.
Okay, let's see if you can do it. Okay. 1. Go a little bit lower. 2. Okay, keep
How do I
going.
get up again?
Okay, go as low as you can. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then the last one, plank position. Pretend you've got a ball
position.
underneath your belly button. Lift your feet up, and you're gonna just rotate. Work those love handles. 2,
I never knew you could work
3.
your muffin top.
4, 5. We'll do 10.
Ooh.
6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Oh
There
my
we go.
gosh.
And that's your
And
Monday
then we
morning.
AMRAP.
So that's the AMRAP. So for as many rounds as possible. So you allocate, like we just did now, 5 per side. Naturally, you can do 10 per side or 20 per
Okay.
side, and you can do as many rounds as you can.
Okay, we can do
within-
another round.
Okay, should we do another round?
Yeah.
Okay, from the top.
From
okay,
the top.
reverse lunges.
Oh,
5
my
per
arms
side.
are burning.
1, knee down.
Got you.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Morgan, do you only do this on a Monday, or can you do this
8.
on a Tuesday?
No, you can do this.
too?
You can do it. You change it up. Just change up the 2 exercises you do.
Yeah.
Okay, air squats. Same
Air
story.
squats. Okay.
Knees not above the toes, shoulder width apart, and you're just gonna drop down. 1.
You're reminding me
2.
that form is really important.
Yeah, you know, so often we can do the exercise and you can just get it, just to get it done.
Right.
But if it's done correctly, you can actually get a real burn. You should feel it nice,
I feel the burn.
burning in the quads.
Whew.
Where are we? 3, no?
10.
5, 10. Okay, 7,
12. Oh.
8, 9, 10. Okay, so 2 leg exercises, now the 2 upper body exercises.
Yes.
You know the
These
story?
ones are rough.
Hands shoulder width apart, shoulders, make sure they don't move ahead of the hands, and you're just gonna do, we'll just do 5. Okay, you're gonna do ladies ones, I'll do men's ones.
Okay, I got
Up you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then
Okay, now
come
you're gonna go.
first. What are these called?
These are called diamond push-ups if you want, or
Diamond push-ups.
close grip push-ups. And you're gonna do 5 of them again. You're gonna try and get as low as you can.
Let's do it.
I'll normally try and kiss the ground, or your chest must touch your hands.
Kiss I would love to see that, Morgan. Kiss the ground.
There we
okay.
go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Nice.
Okay.
And the last one.
And the last one
was
is
the planks. Oh my goodness.
plank position.
Okay, plank position.
Right, stay like this. Drop your backside for me.
Oh,
There we go. And now you're gonna pretend there's a ball. Hips are gonna touch either side.
that made it so much harder.
1, 2, 3,
Whew.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10. They
Got
say
it.
summer bodies are made in winter. Do I still have love handles? I think they're gone
No,
now.
they're gone. You're burning them at a
They
rate or not.
disappear. Morgs, well done.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for being here. Thank you for showing your fitness and your athleticism. One day we're going to get to those levels, all right, Gray? For now, though, Graham, what's still to come? Let me catch my breath.
Never mind this summer's body, you're working on next summer's body and the next summer's body after that. Absolutely insane. Well done. So I love you, Carl. Thank you for being my human shield. Morgan, I love you, but a little bit less, because we're going to head in a battle of Formula One knowledge. Now, in lieu of the new Formula One F1 film coming out starring Brad Pitt, it looks massive. We're going to have our Formula One knowledge tested just a little bit. Then we are back in the kitchen making some delicious soup, and it is the time for soup. Mine is going to be a tomato soup with a spin that you're going to absolutely love. And of course, we'll get into F1, the movie, in just a moment. Stick around.
This winter, staying healthy is just a click away with BePrepared365.co.za, your go-to platform for trusted medical advice and helpful health tips. While taking charge of your wellness, ask your pharmacist about the Adcock Ingram OTC Winter Survival Pack, including Corenza Paracy, Medical, Expigen, and Adco Napamol. Stand a chance of winning weekly cash prizes by replying to the competition question on Expresso's social media pages with hashtag AdcockOTCWinter. T's and C's apply.
Sugar.
Why are you here, Sonny?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beauties. Yep, we got your enters started this morning, largely due to Morgan Newman's incredible little week-starting workout, which we absolutely love, but all of us going a little bit crazy because a brand new high-octane blockbuster is racing into cinemas, and it has got everyone talking. Why? It stars Brad Pitt. As a jumping-off point, it's F1, a heart-pounding, visually stunning, looks like film that takes us into the fast lane of Formula One racing. But this isn't just another action flick. It's filmed on real Grand Prix tracks with real Formula One cars and even mentorship from racing legend himself, Lewis Hamilton. So let's take a trackside look.
So you like straight talk?
Straight and narrow. No sugar.
Why are you here, Sonny?
When you look
look in the mirror, you see this rough and tumble, old school cowboy. Doesn't take orders, goes his own way, huh? A lone wolf. Well, I've news for you. Formula One is a team sport. It always was. Listen, let's get this straight. We all lose our jobs if you can't pull off a miracle.
No pressure.
None.
The only question here is, why did Sonny Hayes come back to F1?
I think it's really wonderful that Apex are giving second chances to the elderly.
It's all right. You're just worried I'm quicker than you.
You're making a mistake, thinking that I'm just going to be some grateful kid who'll bend the knee to an old-timer.
I never should have pulled you into this.
Down the inside, contact!
That's the other driver. You say he was old, he not that old. That's a handsome man right there.
What's he doing? Plan C, be ready.
Just gotta hope for some lucky breaks.
Hope it's not a strategy.
Anything else, Professor?
Drive fast. Ever seen a miracle?
Not yet. How do you think I'd feel if you die on the track?
3 laps. 3 laps is a lifetime.
It deserves a round of applause.
Okay, we'll give it a round of applause.
I'm just glad that Hollywood blockbusters are back. I haven't seen one like this in so long. And Brad Pitt? I mean, come on.
And I like the fact that he's embracing like someone who's a little over the hill, kind of going back into the limelight.
Come on.
Echoes of reality just a tiny bit.
100%.
He looks amazing.
Art
though.
reflecting life, life reflecting art. But listen, the F1 movie is now in cinemas, so we thought it was the perfect time to put our Formula One knowledge to the test. And when I say our, I mean Morgan and Graham. We're going to go through a fast-paced quiz. They're going to get multiple questions, a multiple choice rather, with a series of questions. And of course, the one with the most points wins at the end of the day. We might do a sudden death at the end. Winner takes all.
Is it always multiple choice when it comes to the sports guys? Is it always like that?
I feel like they don't test our knowledge
To the full.
to the full, yeah. To the full. But I also find
I won't
Formula
give
One
you.
and multiple choice works for me.
Exactly.
Well, let's see how you do with the first one without multiple choice then,
Okay, wow.
This movie, this F1 movie in particular that we just saw, all
Yeah.
right? It features cameos by most of Formula One's real drivers, including which 7-time world champion who also produces the film.
Morgan.
Okay, you didn't even look at the multiple choice. Yes, Morgan?
His name would be Lewis Hamilton.
Because he's
Graham?
the only guy who's got that many titles.
Okay, well, let's see what we got.
Who are the other options? We want to hear the multiple choice.
It was Piastri, Norris, Leclerc, like it was.
Look, they might get there because they are some amazing young drivers.
Good point.
Give them a few years.
But yeah, Lewis, I think he's still got a little in the tank. But
I love me some Lewis. Okay, what country is home to the Silverstone circuit, the home of Formula One?
Right.
Graham,
Okay.
you'd be
I mean, it was
faster,
tight.
Graham.
It was
I
tight.
know, there was.
Come on, Graham.
I'll give it to Graham.
I
I'll give it
think
to
he
Graham.
dipped on the line, like just like that. I was
Morgan,
too
that was-
busy looking to see if he was across the line. He was just focused
You
on.
have
Okay,
to
all yours,
keep
all
your
yours.
eyes on the
It's the
prize,
UK,
Graham.
it's in
I
English.
think he's going to get it
must be,
wrong.
The UK. Well, let's see.
Dun, dun,
Wrong. I'm joking. Of course, it's the UK.
And Lewis loves Silverstone, so I would imagine that's where his.
This
future is
weekend
gonna
coming
pick
up, actually, in fact.
There you go. What's the term for the driver who starts the race in the first position on the grid?
Morgan.
Graham, he gave it to you. Let's hear.
Pole position?
A what?
Pole position?
A pole position? Could it be?
I hope so.
Graham, do you want to
You
try?
can't say it with more conviction.
Yeah, I know.
Pole position, a pole position.
I was tentative. I was scared about the multiple choice coming through again.
The other options were lead runner, front wheel, and sprint starter. So, are those
That's a
sporting
nice
terms?
term. I've never heard them, but they are great terms.
Yeah, I mean, not in Formula One at least.
2 points to Morgan, 1 point to Gray. Come on, Gray. I believe in you. Okay, in Formula One, the sport we're talking about,
Really?
the highest class of worldwide racing for open-wheel single-seater cars dates back to what inaugural season?
Sure.
There's a lot of words.
This is where we need the multiple choice to come through.
All right, is it 1940, 1950, 1990, or 2000?
Gee whiz. I want to say like 1900, but it must be 1940. I don't know.
What are you going? So you're going A, 1940.
I'm going to go 1940.
Then I'll go to 1950.
1950.
It's a wild guess.
Yeah, it is very much a guess.
1950.
1950. Sometimes you got to trust your gut, man. And now she's going to be terrible because she's going to pass this information off as original content. Okay, she's going to be lording her Formula One knowledge over us. Okay. Very
Sports.
good.
Okay, legendary producer Jerry Bruckheimer, love him, isn't taking his first spin around the racetrack with F1 the movie. We've seen him before. What earlier racing film did he produce? Do you want options? I can give you options.
Like Tom Cruise was in one, I'm sure, maybe.
Really?
Yes or no, you want options?
Yes,
Okay,
options,
give us
please.
options. Give us
A, Talladega Nights. B, Rush. C, Ford versus Ferrari. Or D, Days of Thunder.
Oh, I'm going to go D, Days of Thunder.
Okay, D for Grey.
With Tom Cruise.
Okay.
And that feels Jerry Bruckheimer-ish. Like he's very big and, you know.
Morgs?
But Rush was also amazing.
I was going to say, what was B's option again?
B's option was Rush. It was Talladega Nights as A.
Yeah. No, I think I'm going to go B.
You're going to go
Yeah,
Rush.
Rush.
Can we both just say Talladega Nights because it's awesome? I would be on you like a spider monkey.
I really want Graham to get this right. Though.
Okay, well, let's see what the right answer is. Days of Thunder! Ooh, it's 2 for 2. Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
Okay, well, here is the sudden death question.
Right. Bring it up.
Everybody's favorite Brad Pitt, my favorite Damson Idris. They both play F1 drivers in this movie, which is F1 the movie that we're talking about. At what speed did they drive real F1 cars during filming? You've got options.
Okay.
A, 165. mph,
miles.
miles per hour.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
173, 180, or 200.
Gee whiz.
What's a
can't
mile
even
to a
drive
kilometer?
200 miles an hour. That's like Bugatti
Yeah.
vibes, eh? That's like...
I'm going to go 180 maybe.
You're going 180?
Can we put them up again? I'll say 175.
Yeah.
173?
173.
173
It's quite
sounds like
random.
Yeah,
it's quite
it sounds
random.
like that's probably...
Going
173,
173.
180.
Okay, I'll go 180, yeah.
Okay, well, let's see what the answer is.
C. 200? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad we both lost that.
You both lost that, but who was closer?
200.
Who was closer? Morgan.
Wow.
Morgan, you were a little bit closer. Again,
Half a point.
do you know what happened? In the second heat, again, I was looking to see who was crossing the line with me.
Yeah, sorry.
Well done,
It's on the
Morgan. I
finish
think
line.
this one
Very
is
good.
yours.
Very
Well
good.
done, Gray.
Paul. Sorry.
We know
We'll
you
give it
know
to-
sports, but, you know, sometimes the
Come
guests
on,
need
Formula
to
One,
win.
is that even a
It's
sport?
got to let me win, you know?
Eh?
Got it.
If you're not running yourself, is it even a sport?
You got to break a sweat, right?
Come on. No, these,
We're
look,
gonna
these,
see it
guys,
at least.
these guys lose about 9
Yeah.
liters of
No, I
sweat
know.
in their practice sessions.
heard.
So it's a sport, probably one of the most grueling on the planet.
Thank you for putting respect on F1's name. All right, whether you're racing ahead with the right answers or just along for the ride, F1 the movie is now in cinemas. So buckle up and catch it on the big screen. And while you're revved up from this quiz, we're giving 2 lucky viewers the chance to win a F1 the movie hamper each. Now, to enter, listen closely. Simply head to the competition post on our social media. That's on Facebook, Instagram, or X. And answer this question. Which Hollywood star plays the lead role of Sonny Hayes, a former F1 driver in the movie? And don't forget to include hashtag Expresso in your answer. The competition closes at midday on Friday, the 4th of July. That's this Friday. T's and C's can be found at expressoshow.com. And I'm telling you, you want to get on it. The movie is brilliant. And I definitely probably will put my name in to watch it a second time. It's going to be fantastic. Greg, what's still to come on the show?
You and I are getting in the kitchen, my friend. I've been going gaga over soups, and look, at the moment we've got some amazing prepared meals coming our way, but take a look at that. The tomato soup, my absolute favorite, but we've got a whole lot going on there, and ways that we can level up our soup as well, which is absolutely amazing. And then, of course, if you're struggling through winter and the wallet and the pockets, or in fact, if you can't even find your wallet, it's okay. Game has got us covered. They are bringing us some insane and very useful deals at this time of the year. Stick around.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Time is running out. Welcome back. Sorry to make you nervous, but it is actually running out, and this is important. If you haven't entered yet, this is your final call to defrost the cost and win with Game.
I love that so much. Now listen, we're giving away 2 500 Rand game shopping vouchers, and one could be yours if you simply finish the sentence. It's an easy one, okay? This winter, I've got game because...
Dun, dun, dun. So we wanted you to drop your answer on the competition post on the Expresso socials, and then hashtag got game as well, so that we know you're officially in the running for that competition. But please hurry, because the entries close today, in fact, at midnight.
Hectic.
And everyone, I've learned, this is the sweet spot for competitions. Because often if it's too massive, people are like, I can never win that, not little old me. But when it's big, but it's not too big, and you're like, wow, I could use that.
500 Rand could go
Everybody
far.
be entering this. So enter and make yours good, okay, please.
Okay, listen to this. If you win that voucher, Gray, how would you play it? Would you stay toasty with a Gold Air Slim Oil heater for just 899 Rand, perfect for cutting the chill in style? I imagine yourself and all your animals around you.
I was about to say...
in front of the heater.
Because this is quite mobile, and we move. So if I have only warm one room up, and trust me, all 4 animals follow around, eh?
That's what
We're
I was
like
imagining.
a Rubik's Cube of love and coziness in the house. And they save me, and it's like they get timeshare to see who snuggles close.
Cute.
But I can leave the heater there, and then those that are outside of the circle of love, they still get the warmth. I love that. 899, that's ridiculous.
That's a great deal.
Really good, really, really good. Look at that.
Okay, or maybe stay on time and on trend. Listen to this.
Okay.
There's a Genius Solutions F3 smartwatch for 299 Rand. Now
That's
imagine
great.
catching up on all your data when it comes to monitoring your body for 300 Rand, for under 300 Rand.
It would be impressed with you today.
Yeah.
It would be like you did every exercise. You even did those exercises we didn't even know were exercises.
I got rid of my love handles.
I know. Well, I think those went a while ago, girl, but you've just been smashing it. So, and sometimes it is good to get the validation
I
from
love
your
it.
tech, just
I
to
love
let you
it.
know
Well
how good
done.
you are. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very, very cool.
All right, either the heater for 899 or the watch for 299. In fact, you could take both of them. Why not? You still wouldn't have even broken the bank if you did that. And remember, we're also giving away money. So when it comes to game, they definitely got you.
I love it, man. I'm going to go and try and find those vouchers for you guys.
Okay.
Somebody, no, I promise you, she's got them. I'll see you now.
No, I love that. A reminder once again, Expresso fam, that this really is your last chance to stand a chance to win one of 2 500 Rand vouchers, and that is for game. And head over to our socials now, reply to the competition post. There it is, all the details. This winter, I've got game because that's the only question you have to answer. Plus, if you are heading in store, remember Game's extended trading hours. They're still in place at selected stores, so there's still time and then more time to defrost the costs and make this winter your smartest one yet. Now, if you want to know all the details on that, go ahead and visit game.co.za for more.
Welcome back to the kitchen. Yes, we need a little extra coziness, whether you've got your pets snuggling up at home or not. We've got the kind of food that's going to warm you up from the inside out and create a full-on meal out of the humble soup. These are delicious, ideal to garnish with deep, rich flavors. Woolies' pre-made range of soups prepared by their super experts, their magicians, with the freshest quality ingredients. Heat and serve. Freeze for later. You simply cannot go wrong. So I'm going to be whipping up something absolutely beautiful, something that I love in my own home, and Carissa is going to attempt to beat me with her version of a soup. Attempt, okay? These are looking really, really good. So we actually are probably going to need to swap our stations, right?
I think so. You got the
Dun,
soup.
dun, dun.
I've got the vegetable and barley.
Wow.
Standard in my house. I got about 5 in my freezer right now. Let me tell you that much. You probably have the same.
Yeah, no, when you like it, you like it. And I spend my life trying to emulate those, trying to make it from scratch myself.
Ooh.
And I've come nowhere near.
What I love about their tomato soup, the consistency is fantastic.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's not too watery.
Yours.
It feels like a good bite when you have a spoonful of it. What's this?
Oh, completely. It's a gnocchi. Potato pasta is probably the simplest explanation for it. I love it. You can boil it. You can use it as dumplings in a soup, which is also delicious. My favorite way, fry them off. So they're crispy on the outside,
that's
beautiful
yum.
on the inside.
And you put them in the soup.
And you pop them in like...
So like croutons.
Like little mini croutons or dumplings,
I'm
okay?
here for it.
But first things first, let's warm up our soup,
Yes,
shall we?
let's do that. Okay.
So we're
Are
going to
they
crank
on?
this cap.
I'm going to switch my one on.
Whoa. Just watch this butter is getting very excited
getting
about
aggressive?
the gnocchi that's headed its way.
All right, let's go in with that. You know, I love this one because it reminds me of the soup I had growing up. I don't know how Woolworths and their product developers managed to get it exactly how my mom used to make it, but they just nail it every time.
South Africa, South Africa. You know, you joke about our DNA, our RSA. Well, we all eat the same way. We love our flavor profiles.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Okay, your butter's getting nice and toasty.
Nostalgia. Okay, so let's crack on.
Let me be your sous chef. This is as far as it goes, though. I've never made gnocchi before.
And you can let us know, how do you like your gnocchi? I mean, you can get it really fresh, handmade, absolutely beautiful. Classic Italian dumplings made with potato, wheat flour, and free-range egg.
3 ingredients.
And this was made in Treviso, in Italy itself.
Well, nice. Brought back to Mzansi. Graham, no ways is it already getting toasty.
This is what I'm saying. Look how beautiful that is.
Wow.
And you're going to
just... I've never tried this before.
It is absolutely wonderful. And actually, because my kids have very different flavor profiles, like what they like. And one day I was like giving the boiled dumplings. And I was like, wait a minute, these could be slightly crispier. These could be more delicious. But then I found out people have been doing that for years, so I didn't invent it.
You thought you invented it?
Yeah, I was like, I invented the fried dumpling. But it just, for me, the crispy skin just works in this kind of mode.
And butter, more butter, more better.
Definitely. And if you're worried about that butter burning, a little bit of olive oil and put the butter in that, it actually lowers or it rises the smoking point of the butter.
Wow.
Believe it or not, when you put it with the
I don't mind a bit of burnt butter.
Yeah, I'm winning here. How's it going there, girl?
So mine's easy. I'm just waiting for my soup to heat up. That's all I have to do. So I basically add more protein to mine, and I always have rotisserie chicken from Woolworths in my house, and the breasts are always left behind. I'm so sorry. I'm not a breast girl. So I straight it up, and then I always added 2 other recipes to make it delicious. And then I just love a tang. I think it's my mature taste buds. And so I put some lime, but also cilantro, some dhania, some coriander in it too.
You see, they came up with a whole lot of different names to try and trick me. I now know, okay, cilantro is that. So don't be caught out, gang.
By any name, you will not eat it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll smell you coming, my friend. But these are just winning. And yes, it becomes like a competition to see if you can get every individual piece turned over.
You see, the pro chefs would use their hands.
If I could show you the scar tissue on my hands from doing that. It's not the pro chefs, it's the idiots that do that. That's kind of my style, but that's actually looking
that looks fantastic,
perfect.
Ray. Let me give yours also a stir.
I think
over there.
These guys are just about ready. Your soup is
That's my one,
amazing.
I will say. That toasty one, I've already claimed it.
I mean, this goes really well with the tomato, to the point that I'll often use this as a pasta sauce, their tomato soup, because it is so delicious.
Well, I mean, technically it is a pasta. Didn't you say that's potato pasta?
Well, but that's exactly it. So you can push the boat out. Soup, sauce, it's up to you. All of the above. All those boxes have been ticked.
Okay, I'm going to grab a knife
these guys
for
look absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to let them go too much further. Oh, there we go.
This is for my cilantro.
Perfect. Let's pull you off the...
I could do with some more dhania, actually, but because I'm serving you
Calm down.
I'll just use a touch of it.
No one ever said that before in a kitchen, okay? Oh,
it's like a sprinkle. It's just for decor.
It's garnish.
Okay, it's just garnish this time around.
Okay, that is looking and smelling amazing.
Amazing. I'll give you a ladle. Is it a ladle or a ladle?
Soup up a little bit. Okay.
And there you go. This is honestly the easiest dinner that I go for in the evenings. I'm a grandma now. I eat dinner at 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good for you.
It really is. I'm terrible. I have this thing of it, and we're trying to like combine to make sure that we are eating as a family more often.
That makes sense.
Okay, this probably could have been warmed up a little bit more, but I think for the sake of TV, I want you to see this finished product. And then I'm going to use this little guy. Actually, let's get another spoon here.
It feels like a Taste Master kitchen right now.
I know. I just want to very carefully select the perfect little dumplings.
Wow. You see, again, the consistency of the soup, it holds it on top. And then the little drips of butter around.
I know.
Wow.
And that's why, you know, when I was pushing for you to have like a nice oil with
Yes, the basil oil.
The basil oil or something like that, because it just sits, that oil sits beautifully. It's quite like a showstopper.
Fantastic. Well, mine does taste better than it looks, I'll tell you that much. But I'll add some lime.
Just on that note, Woolies often have really good deals with their rotisserie chicken.
Yes, on a Sunday.
People know who, if you know, you know. But that rotisserie chicken, apart from the cost-effectiveness of it, wow, that looks good. I feel like I could fit all of these in there, actually.
Why not?
But a little bit of that butter oil on top, absolutely amazing. And I will leave a little space there if you want to put a little bit of garnish.
There's no garnish
other
for
than
you.
cilantro in there.
Wow.
But the rotisserie chickens go such a long way.
They do.
And there's so many different flavor profiles in one chicken. So use the meat that you don't like or that isn't that flavorful and weigh in. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to let you have a little taste.
A little tasty? Must
Just
I use
a
this?
little taste. Is that clean? Well, I'll get you another.
Okay, get me a clean spoon so that I can have a clean taste of yours. I know, I always get the rotisserie chicken and I freeze them. So I got to eat one of these with it, right?
It's going to be quite hot, eh? Just
Thank you for the heads. I'm scared.
That's the voice I normally hear in my own head and I ignore, okay? Very, very, very nice. In fact, I'm going to have a little taste of mine as well because...
It's like a gazpacho, cold tomato soup. That's fantastic.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a combo, eh?
Oh, please make this. You can add some greenery on top. Come on, you got to try
A little
mine.
bit of cilantro. If you want to make mine, expressoshow.com is where you find the recipe. Let's have a little taste here.
Come on, Graham.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Come to me.
You can't go wrong.
Oh, that is wholesome.
It's wholesome.
That is like the most wholesome, delicious. And you know what I like about it? Like the barley or whatever's in there.
Yes, it's barley.
It just kind of melts in your mouth. So you feel like you're eating a meal and a soup.
At the same time.
Absolutely brilliant. Fortified with your rotisserie chicken.
Come on.
I would even put some little crispy chicken skin on top, like sprinkle it.
I've added bacon to it before, and that was also fantastic.
But bacon to anything.
Anything, exactly, even to your dish. Delicious. I think soup season is officially here and made easier. So just grab a soup, grab some extras too, and call dinner done. You can shop fresh, prepared, and canned soup at Woolworths, and you already know, in-store, online, and on the app is where you're going to get this goodness. Well done, great.
Very nice.
It's very delicious.
Delicious. All right, so now that we've calmed you down and we're feeling all comfortable and cozy, let's load a new fear, shall we?
No.
AI, dun dun dun. No, I know AI in general, it does make us a little bit nervous because it's just moving at such an unbelievable rate. But we are talking specifically about voice cloning and scams at the moment. A lot of people being caught out, understandably so. And I think Grant is going to step in to help us unpack where those missteps are being taken.
I like that. He's the perfect guy to do so
100%.
as well. And then just to make sure you're feeling a little bit better after the fear has been instilled, we're going to make sure that the Stellenbosch International Chamber Music Festival and all the details around it between the 4th and the 13th of July is going to make you feel that much better. We've got so much entertainment lined up for you. In the meantime, I'm so obsessed
I'm having
with
another
these
dumpling.
gnocchis.
I know.
They're
The best
so yummy.
dumpling in the world. Come to me.
Okay, where's my spoon now?
Dreaming of the ultimate kitchen glow-up? You could win a fully fitted Easy Life kitchen worth 450,000 Rand, complete with premium Caesar stone countertops and 50,000 Rand installation covered by ABSA. Head to your nearest Easy Life kitchen showroom, scan the QR code, strike a selfie in your favorite kitchen setup, and fill out the in-store entry form. Kitchen dreams made easy. Entries close 30th of June. T's and C's on easylifekitchens.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Monday morning. 1 hour is wrapped up. Let's get into the next one, starting off with your national news headlines. Now, following a mass poisoning in Kruger National Park that killed over 120 vultures via a laced elephant carcass, 81 surviving vultures were rehabilitated and released back into the wild. The poisoning, believed to be a tactic by poachers to avoid detection, targeted vultures who alert rangers to kills. Now, 3 vultures died during care at Mohololo Rehabilitation Center. Conservationists urge tougher anti-poaching laws and improved responses to wildlife poisoning to protect vulnerable species from further harm. In other news in the country, Gauteng's Finance MEC, Lebogang Maile, confirmed the provincial government will make a second payment to National Treasury today towards the province's e-toll debt. Now, after the e-toll system was scrapped last year due to public opposition, Gauteng was expected to cover 30% of the total debt, with the national government covering the remainder. The first installment of 3.8 billion rand was paid last year as part of ongoing efforts to clear the outstanding balance. And let's take a look at your international news-making headlines, where the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog said Iran could resume uranium enrichment within months despite recent U.S. strikes on 3 nuclear sites. Rafael Grossi stated the attacks caused severe but not total damage, contradicting claims of complete destruction. Iran retains industrial and technological capacity to restart centrifuge operations, posing a potential nuclear threat. Now, previous Pentagon assessments also suggest the strikes only delayed Iran's nuclear program. The situation remains closely monitored by international agencies. Meanwhile, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo signed a peace agreement in Washington, targeting the disarmament and conditional integration of armed groups in eastern DRC. While details remain limited and past details have faltered, U.S. and Congolese leaders heralded the treaty as a historic breakthrough. Now, the deal follows an earlier, quote, declaration of principles and was signed at the U.S. State Department, with hopes it will bring lasting stability and open economic opportunities, including U.S. access to regional minerals. And bringing it back home, South Africa continues to shine in global academia, with 4 of its universities topping the list of Africa's best in the latest QS World University rankings. Now, the University of Cape Town leads at 150th globally, followed by Wits, Stellenbosch, and the University of Johannesburg. 6 of Africa's top 10 are South African, with Egypt claiming 3 and Tunisia 1. Now, globally, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, better known as MIT, retains the top spot, followed by Imperial College London and Stanford University. The rankings spotlight not just academic excellence, but real-world impact through research, employability, and innovation. Africa's scholars are not just keeping up, they're making their mark on the world stage. And we absolutely love to see it and back it right here on your Feel Good Show. But that is where we leave your 7 o'clock news. Let's get the latest sporting highlights from Graham.
Thank you so much, my friend. Let's start with, well, the best news. First, a massive season opener for the Springboks. They kicked off their international season with a dominant 54-7 win over the Barbarians in a very rainy Cape Town over the weekend. Coach Rassie Erasmus called it a solid start, with selections for the upcoming tests up against Italy and Georgia now already planned from what he's seen on the field. So the Boks scored 8 tries in an emphatic victory. Next for our boys in the green and gold will be that Italian team in the next test at Loftus. In fact, it's this Saturday, the 5th of July. It kicks off at 10 minutes past 5. Now, let's stay with the rugby and equally good news. The junior Springboks, they opened their under-20 championship campaign with a commanding 73-17 win over Australia. Coach Kevin Foote praised the team's fitness in some pretty tough conditions. With 11 tries scored, SA now turns focus to a key Pool A showdown that's up against our old foes, England, and that's coming up this Friday in Rovigo. Now onto football, and Paris Saint-Germain, they underpinned their European champion status, thrashing the Americans into Miami 4-0 in Atlanta to go through to the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup. So Achraf Hakimi scored twice, Thomas Abedez scoring an own goal, completing that rout. Lionel Messi's side outclassed by the European champions, who now face Bayern or Flamengo in that quarterfinal berth. Now let's get back onto track, and Lando Norris claimed a dominant win at the Austrian Grand Prix, leading McLaren's first 1-2 finish since 2021 with teammate Oscar Piastri in second. So Norris controlled the race from pole position, while Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, he completed that podium. Now championship leader Max Verstappen, he crashed out early, now tightening the title race ahead of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone next weekend. And as always, I think we can expect our 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton to put his hand up in Silverstone. He does love a home race. And that's where we leave our sport for now. We'll touch on those headlines again at around 8 o'clock. Let's see if the roads are waking up.
That's right, Graham. The roads have woken up indeed. Let's see what's happening in your traffic. Let's get started in Gauteng, out in Bedford View, where traffic is slow moving as a result of a motor vehicle accident that occurred on the N3 northbound before Galuli's interchange. Now, the left lane is closed, so do proceed in caution if you are headed out in that area. Now let's move over to the mother city, where there's a stationary vehicle on the N2 inbound on Hospital Bend, resulting in a lane closure. Now, minor delays are expected for motorists making use of the affected route. So wherever you are headed across the country this morning, please do go ahead and drive safely so that you arrive alive. So we leave your roads. Let's see what's happening in your weather. Well, the good news is that there are still no severe weather warnings for today, but residents in Cape Town and Gauteng should brace for planned water outages. Cape Town's Water and Sanitation Directorate will begin 9-hour shutdowns from today, affecting areas like Durbanville, Fisantekraal, Wellington, Claremont, and parts of Atlantis later in the week. Now in Gauteng, Rand Water will start phased maintenance from tomorrow until the 18th of July, impacting Johannesburg, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, and nearby municipalities. Rand Water says the work is carefully scheduled to minimize disruption, but low pressure or even outages are expected in certain areas. Well, let's get your sunrise view of the hour. We got started in Durban, but let's see what Gqeberha has to offer for us. GQ has never looked this good, let me tell you that much. Demont, you've represented your area incredibly well. I mean, the sun is looking fiery, making sure that we get a great kickstart to the rest of the week. 24 degrees is what you can expect on your side of town. So thank you so much for sharing with us what your morning view looks like. 063-036-9649 is where you snap away and send your pictures through as we check out what's happening in your temperatures for the rest of the country.
Wow, well, I hope that is what it looks like outside your window if you start your day with us. Just embrace it. It looks a bit chilly, but it looks gorgeous out there. Go out there and embrace every possibility, like possibly winning 450,000 Rand. If you play your daily lotto today, that is exactly what's waiting for you in the jackpot. So go and get your tickets. You can do it in store when they open. You can go online right now, nationallottery.co.za. You can use their mobile app. You can use your own cell phone banking setup, or you can dial *120 *7529# for USSD. That's the kind of tech we understand, okay? And we'll keep all those details up on the Expresso socials, so you can go and check them out, and then panda, push, or play your daily lotto for an estimated 450,000 Rand.
That's me.
Ta-da!
I'm worth a little bit more than that.
No, you look like $1 million.
Yeah, I'll take it, Gray. I'll take it on this Monday. So much is still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We kind of see them planted over there looking absolutely stunning. And they're going to give us a taste into something good. I'm talking about the Stellenbosch International Chamber Music Festival. It's going to be a fun time. time between the 4th and the 13th of July, and they are looking gorgeous, and I'm pretty sure they're going to sound just as good.
Oh, no, they do sound. We had them a contingent here last year, and it was mind-blowing. So talented. Yes, they are very dressed up for a Monday morning, and we are here for that kind of energy.
Yes.
And maybe we need that kind of love and energy to temper the storm. AI is here. Now we've got voice cloning to contend with, and it sounds, well, exactly like you. Should you be nervous? We'll find out after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Morning, Janine.
Thank you so much for joining what promises to be, hopefully a very rewarding, but I would imagine quite an unnerving conversation. Now, have you ever received a voice note that didn't quite sound right, but you couldn't put your finger on why? Well, that uneasiness might soon become the new normal. Across the world and here in South Africa, cyber criminals are using artificial intelligence to clone voices, along with a few other modalities. With just a few seconds of audio, scammers can now impersonate your loved ones, your colleagues, even your favorite public personalities, and use those voices to trick you. It's called AI voice cloning. And today we are asking, can you still trust what you hear? Well, joining us for this very important and rather scary conversation are three voices that you'll definitely want to hear, and I've touched them all. They are real people, okay? Professional gamer and tech enthusiast and our good friend Grant Hines. He had a breakdown how this cloning technology works. Legal expert Nicoline Skuman-Low, who will explain where the law stands, and then Adrian Endley from Good Hope FM, who constantly changes his voice every time he's on air so that no one can copy him. He is on Radio Daily and obviously has a beautiful fan base that I would imagine would be scared by something like this as well. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Maybe I can start with you. Does this terrify you? Because you are your voice, bud.
Yeah.
It's your job. This gets real very quickly, right?
Yeah, that's my bread and butter. So it is sort of scary to think that someone could just take what I'm saying right now and just sort of do their own thing with it. It makes me think, well, then what's the point of having me around then?
Come on, you're great, man.
Oh,
Stick around, man. We need him. We need him. So how does this work? Break it down for us. How is this manifesting at the moment to become such a hot talking point?
So it is quite common. You can use most recordings that you have. The quality of the recording is also what makes the quality of the AI better. And then what it does is it will assimilate your voice based on the data set that you give it, which would just usually be like a really long recording of like how you speak and how you say things. So I think public figures have a
it's quite a pool to draw from. Yeah,
that's the problem. You've got a huge bank of content over the past like 10 years. You might have you might be at risk, more at risk than
some of us have been around since the start of like TV and radio in the country, so there's a lot out there. Do I own my voice, Nicoline? Here right now on Expresso. Do I even own my voice? But out there, once I've recorded a voice note and sent it off.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. There's no piece of legislation that specifically attributes ownership of your voice to you or I, but I think as with fingerprints, there's nothing specific that attributes that to us. We assume that we own our fingerprints and our voice. But if we look at how this happens, right? We've mentioned the recording. If that recording occurs without your knowledge, without your consent, it's reassembled and distributed under the Protection of Personal Information Act, or POPI, it is protected under Section 1, where we protect biometric information, which is quite a large umbrella, but voice is definitely included under under that umbrella. So if we have distribution and recording and reassembly without consent, that is unlawful processing, reportable to the information regulator.
Okay, so we've got a step to take, but whether that leads to further steps or whether, if there's a capability to deal with that. And I've sat in a police station listening to elderly couples, a slew, explaining the various ways that they'd been taken advantage of in a digital space that unfortunately our police at that given moment had no idea or even where to jump off. And that terrifies me. I'm going to flip the scripture. Do you think a viewer, a listener, would hear your voice and just trust that if they had to receive a call? And it was you, it's their favorite radio guy asking them to send a donation. Come on. Does that side of this equation terrify you?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the way. I mean, look, I don't want to say I'm like a public figure or anything, but I'm a voice that hopefully people would recognize. And I think if you hear voices that you trust, especially if they have a bit more influence, you definitely will immediately think what they're saying is legit. And I think with how the technology has advanced, I think initially it sounded very clunky, very robotic almost, but if we're hearing what AI is putting out nowadays, it sounds almost exactly the same.
And of course, we're looking for a familiar voice in amongst all the generated clunky stuff. So I'm going to use one of my own experiences with Facebook. And we've spoken a lot about this, and Grant stepped in a way that to help me that I just couldn't find from the platform itself. But no representation of me on Facebook is me. It's all pirated, it's all been stolen, and now people as easily as contacting a guest that I've interviewed on the show shortly after that interview have been able to scam them, pretending to me just using comments. Now imagine my voice is laid into that. It is terrifying. How much responsibility is on the platforms to govern where this is going out? I mean, we hear this with gaming, with platforms like Roblox becoming so dangerous, taking no responsibility. Surely the same should apply here.
Look, I don't know what their legal responsibility is, especially because they're in different jurisdictions. But they have a responsibility, I guess, to their user base to make sure that the platform is safe, that people want to spend time there, that they can trust. If you can't trust that you are WhatsApping somebody that like your family member, what's the purpose of that platform anymore? Exactly. So I think they've got a responsibility to make that space valuable to the audience. There will be people that will fall by the wayside, I assume. But I guess that's tech under capitalism.
And I think that's another problem. I was going to say that's another frontier. But I'm thinking now we use voice authentication all the time in that legal space. How close to that line are we when it comes to the legal battle or the legal fears that are loading?
Absolutely. I agree that we've got a major jurisdictional issue to deal with this. Many of these platforms are not local, and that poses a real challenge to us from a legal perspective. But I do not think we are without recourse. We shouldn't think that. If we look back to the Electronic Communications and Transactions Act, the first generation of legislation we saw in this country to deal with online behavior, it already recognized that we needed a versatile framework. It recognized that we needed to deal with the mere conduits. In other words, we don't modify the data, we allow access and we allow transmission. And we see that under Section 77, you can actually ask for a takedown. And if the takedown doesn't occur, it does open the platform to liability.
Okay, that
we can also go to court.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I think we shouldn't think we do not have recourse. There are challenges, let's be real, but we have recourse.
I was going to, whenever you're dealing with crime, there are challenges, and that's the nature of life. I want you to think about what those first steps are in terms of keeping ourselves safe, educating others, especially our older listeners and viewers, and then what are those first steps to empower ourselves? We're going to continue this discussion. We are talking about AI, and I know there are a lot of scary new frontiers within that AI space, but this is where it's getting real very quickly every day with consumers, where voices are being copied to the point of it's pretty much your original voice being doctored. And what doors does that open? We'll continue to hopefully fortify you for the future ahead after this.
Well, like Ray said, they'll get back to that conversation. In the interim, though, let's get into this week's Handy Heroes pick, and it comes straight from the sunshine shores of Port Alfred. Now, this Buco team's top choice, Plascon's Wall and All exterior, the ultimate warrior of wall paint designed to stand strong against dirt, stains, and whatever the weather throws its way. Now, let's get into their top DIY secret. Between us, don't skip the prep. A smooth finish starts long before the first coat. So let's take a look.
Powered by Plascon, today's Handy Heroes come from Buco in Port Alfred.
Buco Port Alfred is the gem of hardware stores in Port Alfred. We pride ourselves on service. We know clients by name, they know us by name. We go out, we serve clients by heart. It's a very close community-based store. I would like to say we are loved by the community.
At Buco Port Alfred, customers are not just seen as customers. They become part of the family. We know our customers by name. We service them according to their needs.
It's a big store. It's got everything. Building material for small jobs, big jobs, last-minute jobs of a paint like Plascon. So we've got all range of stuff that customers can come and get in.
We have a big range of Plascon products and have in-store experts to guide you through the process to ensure that your project runs smoothly.
Plascon has proven itself over the years to be a strong, reliable brand. You get different brands coming in and out, but they've stood the test of time, and they will stand the test of time.
I would say Wall and All, because Wall and All is suitable for all surfaces. Cleans dirt, stain, and water resistant. It gives you a lotion finish.
Prep is the most important thing when it comes to painting. Doesn't matter if you use the best top coats, the best. Prep is the most important. Get your prepping done correctly, and your product will last.
Today's Handy Heroes is powered by Plascon Wall and All. Unmatched dirt, stain, water and fade resistance to keep your walls beautiful for years. Plascon, together we've got this.
I love those tips, and more are coming your way, especially on the front of the digital age and South African law specifically. When it comes to the world of AI, we cannot be in denial because we are here, but we've got the right experts to guide us through all the goodness when it comes to that. Not only that, when it comes to goodness, yes, I'm talking about heading back into the kitchen to get into a 5-ingredient sweet corn chowder. The sound of that just sounds incredible, and I can't wait to get to cooking in just a bit.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
The room rumors are true. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Monday morning. And if no one has said it yet, good morning to you. Thank you for spending your time with us on Expresso. Now, listen, we said over on the Feel Good streets, over on our social streets, what's one way AI has already made your life a little bit easier, or maybe even harder. And you let us know across our socials exactly what that was for you. But if you'd like to get into a voice note, 063-036-9649 is how you get in touch. But let's head over to the Facebook streets and see exactly what you said. Well, our family, Gary Okamp, has said, good morning. I sometimes use it for research because it's more interactive than Google, as you can tweak and control the narrative. I have a feeling you're talking about ChatGPT, Gary. We've all been there. We completely understand. Let's see what else we've got. Namabana, good morning to you. AI has made my life easier in so many ways, from navigating through traffic to scheduling appointments. But I'm excited to hear from others on the Expresso show. That's really great, especially when it comes to convenience. I love that one. Mark Gavin saying, good morning. Good morning to you, Mark. Imagine if you had, say, an AI doctor that could look at your personal information and determine your health. It knows your medications, it tells your symptoms, it has your medical history, but you've also fed it your grocery bills and your restaurant tabs, so it knows generally what kind of food that you eat. It's hooked up to your phone, which silently has been keeping track of your footsteps as a pedometer, so it has some idea of how much exercise you get. Sheesh! And it has access to an anonymous database of millions of other people with similar conditions, so it can determine really well what sort of problem you might have. That's way easier than actually going to a doctor and then you woke up from a dream. Well, listen, that dream may not be that far away. I feel like that's exactly where technology is headed, but hopefully our doctors will still stick around, because you can never lose out on that human touch at the end of the day. Well, continuing this conversation, G-Man is standing by with our expert panelists to continue the talk about AI.
I'm sorry, new fears are loading all the time here. The more I learn, so the more we need to temper that storm with the experts. And we're looking at it from a few different angles here. But when specifically dealing with voice being taken away from you and being used in nefarious ways. Okay, if your voice was cloned and used in a scam, what could you actually do about it? And would you be held liable for the outcome? Well, unfortunately for most South Africans, the answer right now is, well, we don't really know. Our laws do back us up, but they are still catching up a little bit to this fast-paced world of AI, which is changing, let's be honest, faster than any of us can keep pace. Now, voice cloning is opening new legal and ethical grey areas that we've never had to think about before. So our guests are here, and it's not all doom and gloom and deep fakes. There are some steps we can take to protect ourselves. So, Grant, I'm going to start with you. Are there apps we can use to assess this? Are there gateways that we can set in place to protect ourselves?
I think there are behavior patterns that we can do. I think always be suspicious if somebody's asking you for something. Even a family member, because people behave in a certain way and you're used to them, and it'd be very strange if somebody said, hey, listen, this, like, I need some money or whatever. Then maybe video call them or go visit them in person and find out what's actually going on.
Maybe chat to your close family and friends and have a little safe word or something.
Don't take a WhatsApp message as what's going on, because our stuff is being, especially when somebody's asking for something, information, or money, or whatever the case is. Sometimes that's really unusual. There's usually a motive. I think the paranoia here, don't be paranoid, because that's not helpful. And there's no reason to be paranoid. People don't do this for fun. They do this because they have an intention.
Okay, there's a target,
so I've got friends who are paranoid about this, but the intention is generally to take money. It's to get information from you. Those are the things. It's never to terrorize you.
Okay.
Because that's just a waste of resources for them. It's their organizations they want to steal.
And often, I think you think it's one person's, like a hacker sitting in his room somewhere. These are big syndicates that are
and they're usually shotgunning lots of people, but you think you're very important right now because it's happening to you, but as well as many, many other people.
I think, sadly, as my little story kind of highlighted for myself, the elderly get targeted. And this used to happen with mail order stuff. I would see it at my grand's retirement village, targeted because they are looking for connection, because they are looking for just a little bit of change. For anyone who experiences something like this, once we have, first of all, established that something isn't right, what is that first step?
I think we shouldn't wait for something really bad to happen.
Okay.
That's the first thing. If you know that you have been compromised in any way, or your voice has been cloned, whether something nefarious has actually occurred, we should take that first step. And it really goes a long way to back yourself with cybersecurity specialists, not that expensive as many would think. Take that step early on, find out what's going on and how it actually happened and how to remediate or protect yourself. Maybe it's a system vulnerability that could be easily addressed.
Then you can help others in the future as well.
Exactly. So that is the first step. And then, of course, get yourself an attorney that knows their way around this to issue the necessary correspondence, cease and desist, that sort of thing, even before something bad has happened. It often really helps.
I don't want to ever paint the police in a negative light because they are dealing with a reality that few of us can even begin to imagine in this country right now. And this kind of feels like the kind of crime that they are not equipped to deal with. Is that the case? Do we have cyber representation within the police force, and how should we engage with the police when we think something like this has gone wrong?
The Cybercrimes Act is a really good piece of legislation. It deals with a number of, it doesn't define cybercrime narrowly. It deals with interception, access, it deals with distribution. It's very broad.
So there is a playbook there, yeah.
We've got a good mechanism. But if we look at some of the statistics, so let's look at 2021. In 2021, Interpol alerted us that we had 230 million instances of cyber threats.
Yeah,
they alerted us, right? And let's look at 2022. We ranked 5th in the world's list of highest density of cybercrime. And we are estimating across different mechanisms that we are losing about 2 billion, apologies, in damages year on year. This is a big problem.
That's GDP kind of talk, you know?
So in my mind, this is testimony that we don't have enough skilled hands on deck to deal with this. We've got good legislation, but I think we've got a capacity.
We need more bright minds behind the PCs. This also says to me that those of us in the broadcast and the media space need to take that responsibility on board. How do you think we spread the word without driving fear, without driving panic and paranoia, and educate people? Because, let's be honest, there are going to be, in particular, a lot of elderly people who are living life through that gateway of technology. It's their only way. So how do you advise that we get this message out there and educate the world, ma'am?
Yeah, I think education is definitely the biggest thing. I think if we're looking at elderly people in particular, I do think they often fall victim to this because they aren't as used to dealing with things like this. And I think, look, if you're older and you're not too sure, it's always good to ask. Look, it's always good to, we've always heard, if something's too good to be true, it probably isn't.
100%.
And this goes especially when if you get a random WhatsApp message, something like that. I think like Grant was saying, even like maybe just calling the person immediately, being like, let me just actually just call you and talk to you and make sure, or like video call you, make sure that you're actually who you're saying you are. But just asking like, you know, a niece, a nephew, someone like, look, I received this. Like, is this legit? Like, is this real? Just asking yourself before you just immediately assume and click a link or anything like that. Like, let me actually just double check this. Let me just ask someone first. I think it's the best thing you can do, honestly.
I love that. Speak, educate, and I know there's a lot of tech-savvy elderly people out there. Please, I do this with all due respect. I think we all need to catch up. Maybe I can broaden the perspective here because we've been putting this out to people now. There are so many points of pressure and also new things that we are unlocking with AI at the moment. What has been your biggest kind of discovery through AI? Are you more scared or more excited about where this is taking us?
I was initially very scared. I have now become a lot more excited, and the main reason is that the AI tools are not these generative ones. So these generative ones are like Midjourney and voice cloning, where you create something from nothing. Those for consumer level things are generally quite dangerous. But AI in general it manages to cross a knowledge gap. So I was able to clean, someone spilled milk in my car the other day, and I was able to clean it correctly. I know this sounds random, but
you know how many parents just went, huh, what?
But I was able to clean it properly with the right chemicals that I had at home using AI to do it. So like to prevent it from smelling and all that stuff. I would have taken that to a car cleaner, which was a Sunday, wasn't open. I drove around for like half an hour, trust me, in the rain. And you kind of like, by bridging that knowledge gap, it really does empower you and enable you to do something.
I like that, yeah.
So there are different applications of AI which are scary. The generative ones are generally scary, but the knowledge gap ones are the most exciting ones.
Because that's going to raise the baseline for all of our experience of life. Can we talk about agency within AI? When we are now giving control over something to think on our behalf, when we look at how we are struggling with these first advancements of AI, what makes you most worried from a legal perspective? Because often legislation follows behind. It doesn't create those gateways ahead. But what makes you nervous when you think about AI right now?
So the lawmaker cannot keep up with the speed of the advancement. Let's be frank about that. And that's not a South African challenge. That's a global challenge. All we need to do, basic math, to look at the gaps between the legislative milestone developments in our own country. I mean, we're talking about 7 to 10 years per iteration of legislation. Sometimes more, depends what metric we are.
When you look at how fast things are moving now,
exactly.
that's broken.
And if we look at how fast AI is evolving, I mean, it's a no-brainer. We are not keeping up. And this is not a South African issue, it's a global issue. So if we then look at agency, then we have to look at other jurisdictions. We have to look at what they are doing, what is their response. And remember, those influence can be utilized over here and can be utilized within our court system. So if we look at the US, for example, they have already asked the question, if AI is the disseminator of something that causes damage, who is responsible? That's the key question. And they have found that if you create something using AI, it cannot be IP, trademarked, patented, etc.
Because it kind of comes from all of us, yeah.
Exactly. And secondly, if it causes damage, we have to look for the perpetrator that used the tool. So it's all about the warm body at the end of it. And that's why we're seeing these regulations emerging to check the identity of people you are transacting with if you're in the FICA space, such as law firms. It's becoming interesting.
Take that a step further, and there's an AI deciding whether you're using your money responsibly or not, and then takes over using your money on your behalf because we've given it agency. Well, I suppose that already happens in New York. Okay, I've got one final question for you. You wake up, you sound terrible, you just don't feel like going into work today. You just have your little AI voice, you plug it in, cheers, you don't have to go to work. Would you use an AI representation of yourself to represent yourself in the real world? Have you?
I want to say no. I can see the temptation to do it, especially because you want to keep consistency.
Well, people are doing it with chat, with writing now, so why not?
But I think at the end of the day, especially in my field with radio, I mean, we always want new voices on air. So I think if for some reason I couldn't make it, I'd be happy to, someone else take over than instead, let this lifeless body sort of give you the news, I'm
going to live 1,000 years. You're going to be sick of my voice, man.
I'm gonna take that a step further. People aren't listening to your voice; they're listening to you. And I think that's the difference. And that's why you pitch up in the morning, for you and your opinion. And Rick Rubin said this recently. He said people won't like AI music because they like what musicians stand for and what the artists stand for. And that's what's important.
I'll give you our edge. We've got thinkers and we've got feelers. Emotional connection is ours, and it's what sets us apart. And you guys are very connected. Thank you so much for opening that window. A little bit terrifying, yes, but how we educate ourselves is vital right now. So have this talk within your families, certainly with your kids, in your workspaces, any of those ecosystems that could be compromised by this kind of specifically fake voice being used to catch people out. Unless we start taking control, something else will.
What a fantastic conversation. Now let's bring some light when it comes to what's still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. What is on the menu? Well, a 5-ingredient sweet corn chowder. Sounds delicious. In fact, I think I can see all 5 ingredients in front of me right now. Super simple, definitely doable. So make sure that you follow along in just a little bit. Not only that, we have to get into conversation with the Stellenbosch International Chamber Music Festival. It all goes down very soon, come July. And I want to know the details all about it. So stick around so you can find out as well.
Optimize your gut health with Phytoceutics range of pre, pro, and postbiotics. Use code Expresso for 15% off at phytoceutics.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on AIDS of world-class music, taking place from the 4th to the 13th of July at the Stellenbosch University Conservatorium. I can't wait to get into conversation and introduce you to our very, very beautiful guests right now, Chando Vupe Lupambo, as well as Gila Kilner, who are members of the SU Piano Quintet, also known as the Four Eyes Piano Quintet. And they're joining us right now to tell us a bit more about, what you can expect this coming July, which starts tomorrow. Let's give them a feel-good welcome. Welcome, guys. My goodness, did you dress up for us? Because, wow. You look stunning. Was this just the standard procedure?
Standard procedure.
Standard procedure. I mean, girl, you look amazing in this dress.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into talking about what is going to be so exciting. I can't believe it's been 20 years, 2 decades. That is such an incredible feat, right? So what does being part of this historic milestone mean for you when it comes to the International Music Festival?
I think it's important for us as musicians who have especially participated in the festival, such as us as quintet. It's important for us because we've seen how it's grown over our short period of time attending it, and we've seen what a massive impact it's done for young musicians. So for us to be part of the 20th is such a special moment because it allows us to perform and represent our university in its 20th anniversary.
I mean, do you share these sentiments as well?
Absolutely,
yeah?
absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited for you guys to take to our stage so we can have just a taste of what goes down between, was it the 4th to the 12th, the 3rd to the 13th? The 4th to the 13th.
The 4th to the 13th, but there's a special concert on the 3rd.
Oh, tell me more.
Of the alumni orchestra that is performing. It is an orchestra made up of alumni who have participated in the festival over the course of its timeline.
My
it's gonna be very
goodness.
special.
Oh, that is so special. I mean, what did we do to deserve this? I don't know, but we will enjoy it nonetheless. What do you have planned for your performances? I mean, celebrating a 20th anniversary is a huge thing to do. Where do you even begin when putting together a performance?
So for our quintet, we are performing a very difficult but also a very beautiful quintet, which we have prepared over our semester's work, which I think for us is very important as it showcases our abilities as performers. But the special faculty concerts which are occurring, which we obviously did not plan, but the festival plans include dance and fashion, which is actually very special and it's incredible to watch as well.
I was going to talk about this a bit more because bringing together the elements of dance and music is quite an interesting one for the International Festival too. So how does this come together? Have you seen rehearsals? Do you know what we can expect?
There are various kinds of things we can expect.
Okay, tell me more.
So, music has always, insofar as Western art practice has been for classical music, it's contained movement. Music and movement have been together. So now you're bringing it together in an audio and a visual style, along with fashion, clothing. This dress is from Air, from Karina Lowe and Natasha Jom in Pretoria, sorry. And then Ronan Hunt will be doing the men's clothing.
Wow.
He designed all the costumes, the clothing for the Cape Town Theatre, Opera Theatre's Aida show. So you're going to be mixing all of these creative disciplines together to create something very sensorial.
I would tell you, that's my kind of party. I love bringing together looking good, feeling good, but also being taken on a journey when it comes to music. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. Because I was going to ask you, who exactly is this concert for? Is it for those that are well-versed in the classical music space, or is it for the family? Is it for anybody?
I believe it's for anybody because normally in classical music, for instance, one example is there's a rule not to clap between movements. But in the orchestra and in all the performances that occur in the festival, it is a thing that everybody does because the music is just that good.
It's that good.
And nobody's there to shame you for it. Everybody's there to experience incredible music. And I think this festival is definitely for anybody.
Oh my goodness. And then dress code, because now I want to come. Must I look like you? Must I also step it up when it comes to... Can I? Am I? Please give me permission to do so. What are we wearing?
You're most welcome to. You can dress however you feel that you want to experience the concert. I mean, you're going to be a bit cold if you come in slip-slops.
Right.
So maybe wear closed shoes.
Yeah.
But come as you want to experience it because it will be... you do need to feel like comfortable enough to like just listen and experience.
No, people are not going to be coming any open-toe shoes like that. Please, as a nation, we are stepping it up. Not only is it winter, I mean, look how good they look. We also have to look just as good. I know that earlier, Chanda, you mentioned the opportunity for young South Africans when it comes to music. So how has this really influenced your journeys in your musical careers?
For me specifically, I never thought of the idea of playing chamber music or music with other people until I first attended the festival in 2023. And it was probably the most life-changing experience for me because it showed me music with other people, how incredible it is, and how incredible it is to share music. Because normally, especially as pianists, we are stuck in practice rooms alone and we never really practice with other people. So the experience to perform with other people and to perform in orchestras is just an incredible experience, and it's really special. So I think it shows that classical music can be shared, and it can be an incredibly enlightening experience for young musicians.
Wow. Akila, how about you?
Absolutely, I agree with him. And I think through this festival, it provides this platform for particularly South Africans to learn to collaborate, to develop together musically as well as personally as individuals. And they've been able to do this successfully for 20 years. So I think for them to come and experience this will just benefit them in every way.
All right, here's a question I've got to ask you guys. If you could sum up this experience that we're about to embark on from the 3rd/4th of July in 3 words, only 3 words, what would you say? I'll start with you, Chanda.
I would say educational, creative, and downright phenomenal.
Come on now. You threw an extra one in there, but I'll allow it. How about you, Gila?
I think for me, it would be challenging, sensorial, and inspirational.
Wow, my vocab is increasing, I will tell you that much. And so is my excitement for this amazing thing that we're about to experience together, Expresso fam. We'll give you a taste of it in just a bit, but it's the Chamber Music Festival, the 4th to the 13th of July. But like Gila said, on the 3rd, there will also be an alumni performance, so make sure that you get your tickets ASAP. I just know they're going to sell out so quickly. They look good, they want you to look good, and here's to 20 more years of delicious and excellent music.
Oh, absolutely love that. So great to have the team here again after last year's very successful foray there. I think we are sitting on a treasure trove of talent in that space in South Africa. But of course, lest we forget, it is freezing outside, and when it is cold outside, nothing beats a hearty home-cooked meal, especially when it doesn't require a full pantry or hours, literally minutes, in the kitchen. Well, today's recipe is made with just 5 ingredients and delivers all the comfort of a slow-cooked dish without the time or the fuss. We are going to show you how to turn a winter staple into something special with the help of Ellis Brown. It's our go-to creamer for so much more than coffee, albeit I did feel like a coffee the second I said it.
Absolutely.
Because I've started drinking like 2 different versions of coffee, and my one I have with my Ellis Brown because I do like it.
A little bit of indulgence also. I love it too.
I love the creamy flavor profile, but it translates so beautifully into other foods.
I'm very curious about
thickener.
this.
So we're going to be creating basically a sweet corn soup, and I suppose if you still had some leftover rotisserie chicken, pew, 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 right in there, chicken and sweet corn soup. Who doesn't love that?
Fantastic combination.
Okay, so we've got our onions are looking beautiful. They've been sautéed lovely. You've been hard at work here, hey?
Yeah, sheesh.
You can pop the corn in, and then we've got some smoked paprika going in there as well.
Okay.
And I like a bit of heat in a winter dish.
Why not?
Some spiciness just to warm you up from the inside out.
I do love
very nice.
corn. I will tell you.
I'm a big fan of sweet corn.
Big fan. Whether it's on the cob or just like straight out the can, I'll eat it all day, every day.
Oh, yeah, no, I generally have to buy 2 tins because the one I do eat straight out of the thing.
Literally.
And then I'll put it on toast. I love it.
Oh, yum.
Okay, so we've got our chicken stock here. You can use vegetable stock, whatever you like. 2 tablespoons of our Ellis Brown.
Wow.
I think mixing it into the liquid just makes it a bit easier. Oh, our paprika can go into the mix there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, that already looks good. In fact, what do I like to use in these instances, Carissa?
Mini whisk.
And you were thinking, what do we use a mini whisk for?
Where did that come from?
Exactly. No, I keep them in my pocket all the time. I love my mini whisk. But Ellis Brown, and I think we've been sleeping on this really, is a proudly South African pantry staple, obviously, that brings the creamy richness to both sweet and savoury meals. I don't think we often think of it like this. It's incredibly versatile. So whether you're baking, whether you're cooking, or you're simply stirring it into your favourite coffee or tea, it blends smoothly, it enhances the flavour, and it doesn't overpower. And when you're making those winter soups, I mean, look at that creaminess already. It's going to be amazing. Perfect little shortcut to the comfort food. It replaces the cream or the milk in recipes, in this case, making it a lot easier, a lot more affordable and accessible. And of course, it has a long shelf life. It is budget friendly. We like that. It's always ready to add the warm, comforting finish, no matter what that season looks like. So please, on your next grocery run, make sure that this becomes one of your staples. Ellis Brown is what transforms the simple into something satisfying and creamy.
Oh, I like that.
I didn't actually need to talk that long.
Because look.
Okay, can I help you out there?
Yes, please. Ellis Brown was always a staple and still is in our households. And I knew when I would visit my cousins and my aunts and I'd make that morning cuppa. Oh my goodness, you have to have at least 2 tablespoons in your coffee.
I love it. I, to be quite honest, you probably use it more cooking now because I've gone into like
so
slow cook mode.
to do this.
I love thickening things, and I do admittedly hate it because I'm lazy. So I'll be like, I'm going to thicken it with some flour. By that I mean pour flour into the thing, then have lumps of flour sitting everywhere. This I love. It blends so easily, and it's got a gorgeous flavor profile. And we just let that simmer down like 8-10 minutes.
Come on.
Absolutely brilliant.
Wow, a chowder. I've never made one before.
Chow for the chowder.
Chow for the chowder.
I like
Very
it. Well,
cute.
And I know we've only used 5 ingredients, but if you want those 5 ingredients sent directly to you, you can keep an eye on expressoshow.com for this hearty meal. So you can see we are leaning into our soups and our comfort food at the moment, which I think in winter you do need to fortify yourself, but give your body the energy that it needs, because it's using so much of its internal energy to keep you warm, to deal with the stress.
Vibrating all
Maybe
day.
your immune system's fighting a little something off. There is a reason why we lean into these kinds of recipes, because they actually help our body get the energy out of the food that we've taken from that long, slow cooking process.
Absolutely.
It's a kind of alchemy, guys. It's a kind of magic that we can lean into every single day. Should we
So
have a
what
little
would you
taste? Can you
serve
pass
this
us I would say some garlic bread, because that's what's been put in it.
I was thinking rice, but I think garlic bread is great.
Oh, but you're absolutely right. You could make a meal like this go so far.
Right?
And look at how that's thickened.
Wow.
So I suppose this is where a chowder takes off from where a soup leaves off.
Exactly.
You know?
I'd add some chili in here too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it
Hey,
smells delicious.
some chopped up, if you've got the protein. Okay, I know we've sold this as kind of an end of the month kind of option, but if it's maybe payday, you could, a bit of bacon, crispy bacon bits in there, hey?
Yeah. Immediate,
Wow.
The flavor. Yeah, I don't even need the garlic bread. Just give me a bowl of that.
I didn't mean to be that surprised that it was going to taste delicious, but I didn't think we were going to get that much value out of such a simple meal.
Delicious.
And it's brown. You rock and roll. How creamy is that?
Oh my gosh, it's delicious. It's flavorful. And the fact that you can have this on a budget makes me so happy, especially this time of the month.
Easy on the wallet, big on flavor.
I like that.
It's actually a flavor bazooka, and that is my term, okay? No AI is going to steal my flavor bazooka term. It's copyrighted.
I love that.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to have another taste.
To have another taste. Okay, listen, we're going to prepare ourselves for some goodness. I can hear them moving around, setting up in the background. Yes, it is the Stellenbosch International Chamber Music Festival. We can expect a performance from them. I almost feel like it's also going to be a sonic bazooka and a physical bazooka.
They are ready to move. And we've seen them. They've just been flying all over the studio around us. Incredibly athletic and artistic and beautiful. And then, of course, we've got to head back to the social streets to see what's trending on TikTok this morning.
And prepare yourselves for laughs.
Oh, really?
It's quite a chuckle. It's a little bit of a lucky. We'll get into that in just a bit. Let me keep on stirring this.
So good.
I
I'm
know.
having a third. I'm sorry.
Ooh, I could turn this down.
Dreaming of the ultimate kitchen glow up? You could win a fully fitted Easy Life kitchen worth 450,000 Rand, complete with premium Caesar stone countertops and 50,000 Rand installation covered by ABSA. Head to your nearest Easy Life kitchen showroom, scan the QR code, strike a selfie in your favorite kitchen setup, and fill out the in-store entry form. Kitchen dreams made easy. Entries close 30th of June. T's and C's on easylifekitchens.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Prepare yourself for such goodness, because right now taking to the stage is a figure of 8 dancers, and they're going to perform something fantastic in light of what's coming your way between the 4th and the 13th of July all around the Stellenbosch International Chamber of Music Festival. Take it away, guys. Wow, that was fantastic. My goodness. Taking classical music to new levels between the 4th and the 13th of July. But as mentioned, on the 3rd will be an alumni performance. So please make sure you get your tickets to see fashion coming together with classical music and dance. It's going to be one for the books. For now, though, it's just moments before we hit the top of the hour. Let's get into your national news headlines. Now we get started here, where police in Bloemfontein seized over 19 million rands worth of counterfeit goods, including clothing, shoes, bags and jewelry, mimicking luxury brands during 2 days of raids. Led by the National Counterfeit Good Unit with support from SARS Customs, private security and public order policing, warrants were executed at shops in the CBD. Now, 6 suspects were arrested for immigration violations, with one also charged for resisting arrest. Authorities reaffirmed their commitment to combating counterfeit trades to protect consumers and the economy. In other news in the country, following a mass poisoning in Kruger National Park that killed over 120 vultures via a laced elephant carcass, 81 surviving vultures were rehabilitated and released back into the wild. The poisoning, believed to be a tactic by poachers to avoid detection, targeted vultures who alert rangers to kills. Now, 3 vultures died during care at Moholoholo Rehabilitation Center. Conservationists urge tougher anti-poaching laws and improved responses to wildlife poisoning to protect vulnerable species from further harm. Looking further afield at your international news-making headlines, where Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni announced his intention to run in next year's presidential election, potentially extending his nearly 40-year rule. The 80-year-old, in power since 1986, seeks to grow Uganda's economy to $500 billion within 5 years. Now, his main challenger will be Bobi Wine, a pop star turned politician who came second in the 2021 election. Museveni's leadership has faced criticism over constitutional changes and alleged use of security forces to maintain power, accusations he denies. Meanwhile, the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog said Iran could resume uranium enrichment within months, despite recent US strikes on 3 nuclear sites. Rafael Grossi stated the attacks caused severe but not total damage, contradicting claims of complete destruction. Iran retains industrial and technological capacity to restart centrifuge operations, posing a potential nuclear threat. Now, previous Pentagon assessments also suggest the strikes only delayed Iran's nuclear program. The situation remains closely monitored by international agencies. And closing off your final bit of news today with some wedding bells, Jeff Bezos and Lawrence Sanchez ended their lavish 3-day wedding celebration in Venice with a spirited pajama-themed party at the historic Arsenale. Guests like Oprah Winfrey, Kim Kardashian, Leonardo DiCaprio and Usher danced in designer robes and left with cashmere sweaters labeled legendary. Now, the couple reportedly exchanged vows in a private ceremony at San Giorgio Maggiore, wrapping their $50 million festivities in style. While the celebration dazzled Venice, some couldn't help but reflect on the world beyond the glittering canals. Still, for a few days, it was all about love, laughter, and la dolce vita. Congratulations to the beautiful couple. We wish them all the best going forward. That's where we leave your news for this morning. Let's get into your final bit of sports with Graham.
What a way to start off the international season for the Springboks. That's where we jump off first off, and a dominant 54-7 win over the travelling Barbarians in, it must be said, a very rainy Cape Town as well. So Coach Rassie Erasmus, he called it a solid start with selections for the upcoming tests against Italy and Georgia now already planned from what he's seen. The Boks scored 8 tries in what was an emphatic victory. So next for our boys in the green and gold will be the Italians at Loftus this coming Saturday. That's the 5th of July. The game kicking off just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, staying with rugby news, the junior Springboks, well, they did the same. They opened their under-20 championship with a commanding 73-17 win over Australia. Coach Kevin Foote praising the team's fitness in some pretty tough conditions. 11 tries scored on the day, showing their freedom to express themselves. South Africa now turn focus to a key Pool A showdown. That's up against England on Friday in Rovigo. Now, let's get on to footballing news. And Paris Saint-Germain, they thrashed into Miami 4-0 in Atlanta to reach the Club World Cup quarterfinals, and they did it in style. João Neves scoring twice with Achraf Hakimi and Thomas Aviles, then adding an own goal, completing the routing. Lionel Messi's side never really in it. They were outclassed by the European champions, who now face either Bayern or Flamengo in that quarterfinal. And finally, we move to motorsport now in Lando. Norris claimed a dominant win at the Austrian Grand Prix, leading McLaren's first 1-2 finish since 2021, with teammate Oscar Piastri in second. So Norris controlled the race from pole position, while Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, he completed the podium. Championship leader Max Verstappen nowhere there. He crashed out early, now tightening the title race ahead of the famed British Grand Prix at Silverstone next weekend. And of course, I'm sure our 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton will find some form at Silverstone, as he always does. So lots to look forward to there, but that's where we leave our sport this morning. Let's get one last look at the roads.
Thank you, Gray. Well, in your traffic, only one thing to report on out in Johannesburg and Gauteng, where a multi-vehicle accident has occurred along the N1 northbound after Beyers Nordia Drive. The left lane is affected and heavy delays are expected, so do plan your route accordingly when you're headed on out there. Remember to drive carefully and arrive alive wherever you're headed on this Monday morning. So we wrap your roads. Let's have a final look at your weather. Well, in your weather news, there are no severe weather warnings today, but residents in Cape Town and Gauteng should brace for planned water outages. Now, Cape Town's Water and Sanitation Directorate will begin 9-hour shutdowns from today, affecting areas like Durbanville, Fisantekraal, Wellington, Claremont, and parts of Atlantis later in the week. Now, in Gauteng, Rand Water will start phased maintenance from tomorrow, and that will last until the 18th of July, impacting Johannesburg, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, and nearby municipalities. Rand Water says the work is carefully scheduled to minimize disruption, but low pressure or outages are expected in affected areas. Let's get into that final sunrise view of the hour out in Pelican Park in the Mother City. Gail came through, and again, Gail, I'm assuming this is your morning walk with the most gorgeous morning view. I think we saw the fire from the earlier views, and now this one is just promising a clear and beautiful day in the Mother City, which is exactly what we've been hoping for. So thank you for showing us what Pelican Park looks like through those trees. The sun is just saying a big hello to us, Gail, and a thank you to you for sharing exactly what that's all about. 18 degrees is what you can expect on your side of town. As we get into your final temperatures, here's that final reminder. Our number is 0630369649 for you to snap away and send your morning views with us to get into tomorrow.
Love those sunrise views. I know, man, thank you. It's because this is a bit of a rough Monday. I'm feeling like death, to be quite honest. But the energy in this room, you have no idea how rejuvenating this space is. So hopefully you're getting a bit of that energy and you're going to conquer your week no matter what the weather is like outdoors. And I say that I'm trying to pass as much positive energy and manifest for you the daily lotto today. Why? Because 450,000 Rand is waiting to be taken home, and it could be yours.
That's a nice amount of money for you to get into your pocket. So buy your tickets now in store. Head to the website nationallottery.co.za. There's the mobile app, there's cell phone banking, or you could just dial *120 *7529# for USSD. So many options, but very easy ways to get your hands on some money. But we've left them all on our social media to get you to Panda Pusha Play Daily Lotto for an estimated 450,000 Rand jackpot. But it only goes down today.
So jump on it. Good luck. All right, so we've had a little bit of everything this morning. We've filled you with the fear of AI, but also I think that's underpinned the power of real human creativity, of creating something new for the world, leaning into the best of what's come. And I think the Stellenbosch University Chamber Music Festival, it's a movement, if you will, captures exactly that. And we've got the, I wanted to say quartet, but I see there's a quin in there somewhere. Okay, we'll add a few more. It's fine. We'll test our maths and our musical knowledge at the same time, but they're going to bring us a breathtaking performance, and we've heard the sound check.
Very much looking forward to that. They also look the part. Oh my gosh, they look fantastic.
Phenomenal for this time of the day. Thank you for being
Let's take
that.
a moment for that. We'll also get into what's trending out on TikTok. I said prepare yourself for laughs, because it is a little bit silly, a little bit funny, and that's what TikTok is all about. It kind of balances everything for your final hour of your feel-good breakfast show, and that comes your way straight after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We were actually just preparing ourselves for laughs. That is what's happening because we're getting into what's trending on TikTok. We're diving into the viral trend. Now, I literally have cried from laughter.
correct.
You lied on your CV trend, and trust us, it really is as outrageous as it sounds. I think also because it's kind of true.
I think everybody is selling themselves. I'm sorry, I don't
They
think
have
any person
been.
has been completely truthful on their CV ever. Okay?
Ever. Now, this trend, in case you missed it, pokes fun at people who claim to have top-tier skills or even expertise on their CVs, but only to completely flop when it's time to really prove it on the job. And of course, the internet did what it does best, turning it into comedy gold. So we have to have a look at some of them and prepare yourselves for some lahis. Okay, let's get into it.
No need.
That was me lying
There's
on
no
my
need
CV.
to take it out on your very own tech, okay?
I was trying out the PowerPoint.
It's not your fault, okay?
There's
Little
so many
tablet.
parts, Graham.
There we
Thank you
go.
for that. I was trying out the PowerPoint. That's what I was doing, all right? Oh!
You're just getting frustrated. It's like Excel for me. The same thing.
It's gone.
Exactly
Done.
the same thing. Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Okay, I'm sure
I
there are
love that.
plenty more. Let's look at some more of these. The creator thought being a makeup artist would be a little bit easier than this. Blend that foundation, baby. That is so good. Okay, let's get into another one.
Just blend it. It's fine.
Just blend. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, actually.
Look, that could have gone south very,
Very
quickly, actually. That was quite brave. Now, this particular creator did not know what to expect when it comes to business management.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Wait, what? I think I missed the caption on that one. Oh, it was all about the cash flow for the business. Okay, fair enough. But I just feel like, honestly, many of us have just fibbed a little bit when it comes to... Not this
You're
job.
selling a version.
Not
I've
this job.
learned that you can... Well, I don't know. Every day we're kind of doing
Don't
stuff that we
kiss our
don't know how to do
Afrikaans.
yet. But that is kind of the job description, is to be open-minded and just learn. That being said, I will say that I have been able to learn anything. Can you ride a horse? Yeah. Can you operate a camera? Of course. And by that I mean I know a cameraman I can phone right now to give me a crash course in the next 5 minutes. I get it. Okay, well, this particular creator, I think we all know and love and probably should stick to content creation and maybe leave the mechanics to the professionals. Oh, dear.
Oh, that's good. That would be me in that situation. Changing a filter, what is that?
It's going to be all right. Maybe if I look a little bit better.
Everything will be okay. Oh, man. Changing the filter. Hervé, that was
I must say, it's
fantastic.
his facial expression that makes it for you.
Yeah.
Which
'Cause he
one's
thinks
going to
it's
do
gonna
it?
work.
Which one's going to fix it? Oh, that is gold.
Okay, but
well
listen
done.
to this. You did speak about cameramen earlier, and that is also a job that you have to be skilled for. But what if you're not? So let's take a look at what we tried to do this morning.
Oh, goodness.
The camera says
Fan left.
I think Greg would appreciate this. It's kind of like a dad joke.
It
isn't
really is. I'm doing the Dutch tilt right now. See, when you speak in a Dutch accent and you thought, oh man, no, that's the reason why these guys have to train for years to be able to do the job at this level. You cannot just pick it up and shoot, okay?
Don't take it too seriously, cameraman. We love you. You're super skilled, and we know that you are brilliant at your job. But I'll stick to what I'm doing, and we will stick to what we're doing. And then we'll also hand it over to people who do it so well when it comes to music.
Oh man, they do it so well that the rest of the world, in fact, is coming here to learn from them, coming here to see them take center stage. And that's exactly where they are right now. The Stellenbosch University Piano Quintet, also known as the Four Eyes Piano Quintet, to perform a quintet item just for you. Enjoy. That was like, I felt like I was in like an animation where it gets really intense when you're like, oh, we're going to escape or not. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Congratulations, guys. I told you they don't only look good, but they sound good as well. And part of the group is going to perform a little something for us later. Chanda, as well as Gila, we can't wait to get into that goodness right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show for the 14th to the 4th rather to the 13th of July is when it all goes down. So please get your tickets ASAP. There's so many tickets to actually buy.
I know, there's a whole nother show loading as well. And if you've got kids and you want to kick them out of the house and get them something fun to do over the holidays, the genie is out the bottle, baby. Aladdin is hitting Canal Walk, one of the coolest productions ever. It's engaging. Kids are going to absolutely love it, filled with magic and wonder. And you
I like that. I thought you were about to sing. I would have loved that, Gray. Well, listen, this one is for this one is for the adults. We're talking about a coffee chia pudding. If you need a breakfast that has a bit of a kick to it, this is exactly what you are here for. We'll get into the recipe of that straight after the short
Magic
break.
carpet ride of flavor. Sniffles, sore throat, ain't nobody got time for that. Kick flu symptoms to the curb with Carenza Para-C. Fast relief that gets you back to bossing your day. Need a pick-me-up and a payday? Jump in on our competition. Answer the weekly question on Expresso's social pages using hashtag #AdcocOTCWinter and you could pocket 2,000 Rand cash. Don't sleep on it. Entries close this Sunday. T's and C's on expressoshow.com.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back as we continue to delve into some breathtaking, magical performances that you can get a front row seat to. Every winter, Canal Walk transforms into a theatrical wonderland. And this year marks their 23rd annual production. That's incredible in itself, with a magical new twist on a beloved classic, Aladdin. Directed by Fred Abrahamsa and Marcel Meyer and brought to life by a brilliant South African cast, this bold new production brings flying carpets, obviously, genies, yes, and heartfelt storytelling to life for audiences of all ages. The grown-ups are just as welcome. And joining us in studio is the composer, lyricist, and co-writer of the show himself, Marcel Meyer, who is here to take us behind the scenes of what looks like the most magical, updated version of Aladdin we have seen. And of course, Cape Town families and anyone traveling down here, we are set for the holidays. So on behalf of all parents, bless you. Thank you for doing this. I love it. Marcel, congratulations. No mean feat, reimagining a story that we all know and love, but what a treat to be able to delve into it. So give us a bit of background. Explain your take on Aladdin.
So it's always great to revisit a classic that everyone knows. Sure. But when you start interrogating what the story really is about, it's fundamentally about two young people who feel They don't subscribe to what society is telling them they should be. So Aladdin believes there's more to him than just being a poor beggar boy in Baghdad.
There's more than meets the eye.
Absolutely.
Come
The
on.
princess believes there's more than just being this beautiful young woman trapped in this gilded cage. And then each of them go on this journey of self-discovery. And I think that remains resonant whether you're 5 or 50. We're all constantly evolving and trying to find our most authentic selves. And I think that's essentially what that story is about and why it remains a classic and why we want to revisit it time and time again.
And I think the timing is great for the story because I'm meeting more empowered young South Africans than I ever have. I'm meeting more South Africans who prescribe to those two feelings than I ever have. They want to see themselves viewed in a different light. They want to tap into a different energy. So I love feeding this energy is a beautiful thing. But now you're dealing with a story that everyone knows and loves. So when you get into that creative process, what does that even look like? Where do you begin when you reimagine a classic like this?
Well, it's always daunting because people obviously have expectations because it's so well loved and everyone has their own memory of when they saw it as a pantomime or the Disney film or there's so many or heard it as a fairy tale read to them as a child. So you always have to try and honor people's expectations of it, but you want to give them the opportunity to revisit it as if it's for the first time as well.
Exactly.
So that just takes a lot of time really interrogating every moment of the story. Are you truly authentic to that moment of the story? And how magical can you make it for the audience?
Authenticity, it comes to bear in these spaces. But what I love is the collaborative effort here because everyone has to stand up. And it looks like you got the best in the biz for everything. Can we take a moment for set design? With this particular story, you've got to transport people there. Talk us through the production itself, because it looks amazing.
Thank you. Well, it's always a challenge making theatre wherever, but to make theatre in the middle of a mall
Exactly.
takes even more magic and more people to bring that to life. So the entire promotions court is transformed into a 500-seat theatre for the audience. And then Just Sets has realised Fred's brilliant design that can transport audiences from the streets of Baghdad to the Cave of Wonders without all the benefits of, let's say, the Artscape Theatre where you have fly bars and revolves. So
or an actual magic carpet. Huh?
And we have an actual magic carpet that flies up and down with Aladdin and the princess in the climactic moments of the play. So it's really, really magical. And the entire team who have worked on this production have outdone themselves. And we've really had the best people in the creative sector in the mother city working on this production, making costume. Every costume has been made from scratch, new for this production, wigs, everything.
I've been pushing this narrative in the panto space for a while now because of how many jobs get created from these kind of productions and how many people get introduced to theatre through these kind of productions. It's accessible theatre of the top tier, which is amazing. So thank you for being that. How do you do it, though? What hat do you wear? And does one hat dominate the others? Is the music the most important thing? Is that the emotional connection that you lean into? Do you have to just basically be a crazy person with 50 voices in your head at any moment of the day?
I think it is that, because all these art forms come to, that's what makes theatre so exciting, because it's a blending of so many things. It's music, it's storytelling, it's comedy, it's design, fashion, what we wear, the world we create. So
social commentary to a degree.
Absolutely, because theatre always has to mean something, whether it's children's theatre or a Shakespeare. If it doesn't speak to us now immediately about what we're trying to deal with as a society, then what is the point of it? Otherwise, it just becomes a museum piece you can lock away.
Yeah, there's a relevance, and maybe, and again, the timing kind of fits that. There was something exciting about this production, but also you've laced in purpose in other ways. When I talk about the Reach Trust, what was that connection, and what are you wanting to achieve with this production?
Well, since the inception of these annual winter musicals at Canal Walk 25 years ago, which we lost 2 years of COVID, so that would have been our 25th anniversary this year, but the 2 COVID years, obviously, no theatre, has always been affiliated with a charity. So it's the essence of kids doing it for kids. So young people coming, having their first, hopefully, experience of live theatre, becoming a theatre lover for life, and then proceeds of the ticket sales or program sales always then go to a charity to help various charities over the years. Almost millions of rands have been raised to do something good for the greater society. So while we are having a good time seeing the show, we're also helping people
in the most fundamental way.
So it's a wonderful cycle of giving, which the theatre has always done.
And then I get to interview the young actor that gets inspired by being front of house.
So many people have told those stories that they were 5, 10 when they saw their first show at Canal Walk, and now they...
That's core memory stuff. I get it, man. I love it. Do you have a favourite number? Is that asking, like, do you have a favourite child?
Oh, it is not Ben. The magic carpet ride is magical, and Anzio and Michaela sing it like two songbirds. It's so magical, and the light, it's just theatre magic coming together. And then there's a big production number where the genie also says to Aladdin, basically, that magic is really in you. It's not an external thing like a magic lamp. You've got to find your own magic in your heart.
And I've got to ask this question because a lot of us did grow up with it. Are we going to see Aladdin in a different light? Is this going to give us, the die-hard Aladdin fans, what we want out of this? How should an Aladdin fan of the OG story approach this version?
I think you will get what you are expecting in terms of your love for the story, and hopefully it will reignite why you fell in love with it in the first place. Because it's such a great story about self-discovery, about authenticity, about believing that we are more than society just tells us we should be, and that there's really magic in us rather than in an external thing like a magic lamp.
I love that. Don't wait for the genie to arrive, even though our genie has miraculously arrived just in time for the school holidays. If you're looking for an opportunity to do something that's wholesome and safe and wonderful, magical with your kids that will inspire them, and I speak from personal experience, it was these shows that got me into this industry. That's where these seeds were planted. It sounds like the cast are on another level for this one. So forget about just spending those winter holidays just shopping. You can now go and have a wholesome, enriching experience with one of the most loved productions with a magical new twist. Marcel, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Break a leg.
Thank you.
Oh man, I'm so proud of my girl, Michaela. Congratulations on landing that gorgeous role. And I can't wait for you to see all the goodness of Aladdin if you are in the Mother City, as they mentioned. And if you're just here watching us, let me tell you that we're still going to get into some more breakfast ideas. I know we've touched on soup and corn chowder, but how about a delicious, it's a bit of a chia seed pudding with a twist. We're going to throw some mocha goodness in there as well, and vanilla essence. And let me tell you, the smell alone is definitely making my mouth water. Not only that, to whet the appetite, we saw them perform a bit earlier when it comes to that Stellenbosch International Chamber Music Festival, and we still have a gorgeous performance still to come your way right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Nola does it all, and now you can too. Show us what you've got and stand a chance to win a Nola hamper worth 2,000 Rand, packed with Nola-inspired kitchen goodies. Simply try the Nola recipe featured on the Expresso Morning Show, post a photo or video of your dish to social media, tag Nola and Expresso, and include hashtag Nola does it all. Entries close Sunday, 6 July. T's and C's at expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Okay, right now I'm calling all business owners, caterers, restaurant managers, even production teams, because this one is for you. I have somebody that's going to roll in something good in 3, 2... There he is! Wow.
I don't want to hide this behind anything.
Sheesh.
Is this not the cutest, coolest little wheelie bin you have ever
Adorable.
seen in your life?
Someone in there, or?
But there is stuff in here. When we go to Mumbles, we never leave empty-handed.
Sheesh.
I remember I did warn you that when you go there, the problem is they sell you containers that can fit stuff in. So it becomes like an inverted thing where it just all goes inside. So
and now you got a bin to carry all of that out?
Some cling wrap, because I use a lot of cling wrap.
Nice.
And we've got some heavy-duty foil. And
Always
then in
love
here,
foil.
a party starter, yo. I'm thinking, if you're running a small business, if you've got a food truck, if you've got a creche, if you're doing a soup kitchen, if you're an NGO that needs really accessible, sturdy stuff, Mumbo's is awesome. Catering.
Look at this. If you're an ambitious host, because sometimes that happens, next thing you have 25 people at your house, what do? I would get one of these.
What, the Big Daddy catering tray?
Because nobody's washing dishes. Put some chicken in the oven, and then this is great. And then for the stuffed in, you just give buttercut, exactly. You give everyone one of these. Because I made the mistake, people went home with my Tupperware, and I never saw it again.
No, it never comes back.
Oh, nobody
That's why they have Tupperware parties. So I'm sure that's how they started Tupperware parties, was to get their Tupperware back. They were like, come on, you're not going to be taking a new one to someone else's house. You're just going to take Marlene's back, you know.
Exactly.
No, there is so much functional stuff here, which I absolutely love. So whether you're like running a restaurant, you know, you're setting up just a wedding, a short-term event, you're hosting a brunch for 20 people, Mumbo's has your back, because I don't have 20 plates.
No, you don't.
Can we look inside what's inside our...
That's my cap.
Okay, but now, is this bin, is this still being a transport bin, or is this now a bin? Because I don't want to put stuff back in there, and then it's going to be thrown out. Now, I'm taking this wheelie bin home with me.
Oh my
what
gosh,
else
but
is in here?
look at the things. You've got forks, and you've got spoons.
Got grown-up mugs.
Yes. This is also another version of a scuffed in or buttercut. You could go with it. Oh, what's that?
Cupcakes. You can put your little cupcakes in there, hey?
A bakery. If you own a bakery, this is
But now we're going to have to learn how to bake to be able to use these containers, because they look amazing.
I'll be on coffee duty. Look at that. I've got the spoons and the cups.
But have you ever needed that many stirrers? Hey,
Yes.
come on. I mean,
Yes.
that's excessive. That's an excessive
There's
amount of
1,000
stirrers.
in here.
Wow, okay. Well, I feel like now all of us need 1,000 stirrers.
Of course.
Mustard?
You know, my aunt
Vinegar.
used to host like a, well, maybe not host, but used to have a boerewors stand like in a corner somewhere in Retreat in Cape Town.
Okay.
And they always had these, like
and
it's so nostalgic to me. Vinegar for the slap chips, and then you have the tomato sauce and mustard for the boerewors.
I wouldn't mind having one of these for my vinegar, just for myself.
Yeah.
I will use half a bottle of vinegar.
Do you
on
like
chips.
vinegar?
Oh, girl. You got it. You got to have it all. It's got to be dripping. You like
Tell
to
us, Greg.
eat it with a spoon afterwards when it's finished. And I said, look, my mouth is watering because I'm talking about vinegar. Come on.
The lids for the coffee, of course, you can't go without that.
A bamboo disposable knot pick.
What is
wow.
that?
If you are presenting little eats.
Oh, cute.
Beautiful. Because why must you use a toothpick? It's a zhuzh.
Okay, so
It's
speaking
bougie.
about decor,
Okay.
so you would also set it up, in case they don't know, this is a mocha cupcake, this is a blueberry cupcake.
Is that
It's a
a little
mini
miniature
board.
blackboard to go with my miniature wheelie bin?
And your miniature whisk.
Oh, my word, look at that. Oh, what is this? A restaurant for ants? I like this. This is amazing.
Okay, this doesn't fit within your restaurant for ants. This is a big spoon.
That's for the boss.
For the final boss. And then we've got, of course, some Eco Brown, but regular also serviettes. Whatever you need, I think they've got you.
I'm really leaning into the catering space. We've got these beautiful little bamboo boats. Imagine you've got your little kleptiko or whatever, your little like meatballs on there and your dipping sauce.
That's nice.
Absolutely
Chicken
gorgeous.
wings could even go in there.
Ooh, hey.
And then
with a little
look,
bit
they
of
got
sauce.
this ice cream. They've even got the ice cream spoon.
So you drop the spoon of
I'm getting
leadership.
excited.
Okay, take your spoon
Thank
of leadership there.
They've got the ice cream spoons and cups together.
Absolutely brilliant. I'm thinking like of starting a business after looking at all of this. The Mumbo's range, wild. I mean, this is crazy, and we barely even scratched the surface, from catering to cleaning to just packaging and prepping at your own home. All the behind-the-scenes bits that no one thinks about until it's missing, or in fact, until you walk into a Mumbo's and then you see
They
it for
tell
the
you
first
what you
time. You're
need.
like, oh my word.
Heavy-duty catering foil. Even for my house, I'm always in need of one of these. I ran out, and it
you
is
can
quite,
feel by that.
It's about 5 kilograms. Okay,
got
let's
some
see.
gravitas there.
440 milliliters by 25 meters.
Sure.
That's like half the year.
That's one bra.
That's one.
That's one bra in my house. I waste things. I'm excessive. And I think Mambos understand that about us, okay? That's why their prices are so ridiculously low, okay?
Okay, so they've got takeaway boxes, and you've seen it now in every shape, and yes,
Literally.
in every size, and then the wheelie bins in every size. So when it comes to wrapping and rolling, Mambo knows the tunes.
Oh, man, and they are everywhere. You will find Mambos in Pretoria and in Alberton and Centurion officially. They've joined the party. In fact, it was this weekend with their new store at Bales Bridge Promenade, which looks amazing. And of course, if you missed any of it, no, I don't want you to feel like you got FOMO. Just leave the room.
Okay.
It was too exciting.
Can I take my foil with me?
You can take your foil. Just don't take my wheelie bin, please. Because they had an amazing time. And I don't feel like she missed out. But no, you will find Mambos anywhere, and they are nationwide. So whether you are stocking up for a school tuck shop, or planning that next big family reunion, or starting a business and need a helping hand, there is a store near you. From wheelie bins to warming trays, they are literally giving us covered from prep to pack up and beyond, even into the bin. Brilliant.
Oh, well, listen, I'm in the kitchen, baby. Yes, I'm getting all suited up because we're making something delicious. Now, we've kind of eaten backwards today. We've had the soup, we've had the chowder, but now let's get into some breakfast. We are your feel-good breakfast TV show, and the goodness in front of me is going to make something so delicious, but also good for you. Chia seeds, some Jacobs, of course, definitely a combo for the masses. It's a must-have chia pudding, but with some coffee in it. And when I say coffee, Graham appeared. I mean, that's how.
So I was busy putting the wheelie bin in my boot.
Oh,
I was just.
You should have brought it with you. All right, so you ready for some chia seed pudding?
I am.
Yeah, very easy
I love
to
chia
make.
seeds.
So do I. I put it in my water. I have it as an overnight chia seed pudding, which is exactly what we're making today.
I was going to say, because it gets so gelatinous from something that starts out like a humble little tiny seed, like that, like a speck of dust. There's something Aladdinish about it, in fact.
Ooh, there you go.
There is something beautiful and magical, but it's got a beautiful kind of a desserty texture and profile to it once you do rehydrate it, I suppose. Or no, we're not using water to hydrate it in a sense. So what are you using? Looks very creamy.
Plain yogurt, some coconut cream or coconut milk, depending on the consistency you're looking for. And that's obviously going to add to the flavor as well, because plain yogurt doesn't really taste like much.
Oh, guys, I love coconut cream, coconut milk. I love the coconut flavor profile. Obviously, the oil we know is really healthy.
Yes.
But the creams, I've started using them a lot more. Maybe it was our excursion into Thai curry, dumplings, that kind of space. But my wife doesn't like overly creamy stuff in the dairy sense, but I find I can push the boat out a little bit with
this.
But for a dessert, just the combination of these two things and a tiny drop of honey, and you've got a full-on dessert the next morning.
I'm telling you, add some vanilla essence too, and then you've definitely got one that you'll keep on craving. Also, for the lactose intolerant bays, this is so fantastic because you're not losing out on flavor, and it's definitely going to get better.
Texture.
Texture is the most important thing because creaminess, it's hard to replicate, and this is going to be so good. So we're going in with our Jacobs mocha. I think for us, it's our favorite, and it's so good. It is that coffee chocolate fusion. It's the mocha, adds a bit of a soft but rounded bitterness that balances the natural earthiness of chia seeds, making the texture feel richer and also, of course, more indulgent. The mocha's gentle sweetness allows you to use less added sugar or even sweetener in the pudding while still delivering a satisfying flavor. But listen, it also feels super cozy for the colder days and nights.
Oh, completely, and they've nailed the flavor profile. I mean, they've worked with the kings of chocolates, Jacobs, to get this one right.
Exactly.
So they really have nailed it. I mean, that looks pretty tasty as it is.
As is, right?
But don't, though, because those little seeds will get stuck in your teeth.
They
Okay,
will.
that will happen. No,
They
you'll do yourself a disservice if you don't eat it the next morning, because you really want those chia seeds to expand.
This doesn't feel like it's going to go well.
Okay. I wait with bated breath for the
there you go,
spectacular results. Now, I've been thinking to myself, do they expand quite a lot?
I think so, but not
Okay, so don't fall
upwards.
right to the...
But they don't expand like bake expand. They expand like volume expand? I don't know,
Are these
science.
going to overflow is what I want to know the next morning. No, they don't kind of quadruple in size.
It's like rice.
Yeah, a lot of the moisture that's around them will get absorbed into them, so
There
they're not
you
going to
go.
expand beyond the size of the container, if that
But they
makes sense.
do get nice and bubbly.
Oh, and they are, the
that's the
mouthfeel
right
is
word.
great, and I think the combination with this slightly grown-up coffee, as you say,
Exactly.
or grown-up hot chocolate, if you will, marvellous. Should we have
Isn't
a little
that
taste
good?
of our finished
yes,
product?
the smell alone. Oh, I would
Okay,
drink
we're going to
that.
share one so we don't
Okay.
ruin the other one for our poor social media team, who incidentally we ruin all of their photos
Every
because
single
we
one
can
of
never
them.
not taste test.
Oh, and then you
Okay.
can put some blueberries on top, some nuts even, however you like yours.
Okay.
Ooh, that texture's amazing.
Yum.
Mm.
Well,
Mm.
and it feels like it shouldn't be as healthy as it is.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
I would eat this as a dessert,
Yeah, maybe
actually,
another.
and then not feel bad about anything. If I have a sweet treat, do you feel...
Everything ever.
Do you ever? All my sins are washed away. Do you like a sweet treat after every meal like me?
I'm not the sweetest tooth, so something like this I like.
It's a nice balance,
It's
eh?
not too hectic,
It's
and
not
you can
too
ramp it
heavy.
up with a bit of honey or something like that. But it's the texture is
Yeah.
exquisite. Well done.
My problem
Wow.
is I'd put chocolate on top of that, so that's probably not a good
Dark
idea.
chocolate cravings? Dark chocolate's
And then you
good,
could
man.
make like a hard shell, and then you crack through it. Oh my gosh, my mind is going crazy.
What show are we on here?
My cooking show. Oh my goodness.
We love it.
My rules, my ways, okay? Thank you so much. Great. Listen, when your mornings need a little magic, I probably don't need any more magic. This coffee-charged chia pudding delivers smooth, satisfying, and secretly good just for you. Just a spoonful, and you'll see. Rich flavor really does belong at the breakfast table with Jacobs. Delicious.
What is that?
Who says no to a cappuccino? Jacobs, wunderbar.
That's
Very good. Well done.
Yeah?
Any more?
I deserve a high five,
Do you want to
surely,
throw
after
any more
that.
cutting around?
I think I'm done. I'm going to step away.
No, when the food's that good, you've just got to celebrate. And we are celebrating some of the best in a particular musical genre this morning that I think a lot of people haven't been introduced to.
Agreed.
But boy, are we being given a masterclass today.
Sheesh, Chanda and Gila are standing by with an incredible performance, and I can't wait to get into that goodness. Also, not only that, we're going back into what's trending, because I think more laughs, abs, as well as health, as well as
We
music.
need it.
It all comes together nicely.
good morning. Where have you been, man? You've missed one of the coolest shows ever. No, it's been a great start to the week, but we might have found you out. Have you ever lied on your CV? Well, maybe you featured in one of our videos. Now, we are loving this trend at the moment, and we've caught up with a couple of very funny colleagues who have been jumping on the trend, but you guys have added a few.
Absolutely. When you said funny colleague, he was talking about me because I'm hilarious, okay? All the dads in the studio laughed at our take on this, and it was all about, of course, camera work, because we know that I can be a presenter, but can I be a cameraman?
Let's find out.
Let's find out if I can be a cameraman.
Can you please pan left for us? Pan left for us, cameraman.
No problem. Easy peasy, lemon
Okay, so now I
squeezy.
know our cameraman would have a much more technical, but when you pan, you move from one side to the other, and then you pan back across.
But I had an actual pan that was super heavy, and I made it happen, man. So we're talking about, have you ever lied on your CV? And the trend is all about taking things quite literally. So in case you didn't catch that one, let's have another view at this. Insert a footer. I haven't even heard of that term before.
I have, and I've tried, and I still don't know how to do it.
I think
Come
your foot
on,
size
and I
is
know
too
there's like a
big,
training
eh?
module somewhere, okay? But I still haven't been able to. Let's take another look at how you might have failed at your CV. Run, bud. Get running.
That's good. I mean, maybe it would work. You don't know.
Well, I suppose if you're an electrician and you're in a hurry, you might need to run the cables at some point.
Great
Okay,
combination.
it's okay.
Okay,
fair
let's
game.
see if we have any more. I'm sure the laughs are continuing on your side of town. Okay, let's see. When you lied about photography. This is a family show, okay?
A little too literal for these neck of the woods. Let's squeeze in one more, please.
Oh, that's good. I like that one. Well done to everybody.
I mean, that's tempered the storm.
Yes,
yeah.
I think so. Jump on the trend some more, though. It is definitely all over your TikTok right now. And have your take on it. And consider what job you have and what you can actually take quite literally. I think it could be a joke.
Maybe you can be your own boss and pay yourself a really big salary. If you win the lotto today, there is an estimated 450,000 Rand waiting to be taken home in that jackpot.
Listen, it could be your big payday if you buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za. There's the mobile app, there's cell phone banking, or simply just dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. So while you're scrolling, doing your TikTok upload, also have a look at our social pages and then put yourself in the running to Panda Pusha Play Daily Lotto for an estimated 450,000 Rand jackpot today.
Oh, well, thankfully, we've gone straight to the source for this education in chamber music, and we love what the University of Stellenbosch represent in this incredible space. And in fact, the whole world recognizes that, and they are coming here from the 4th to the 13th of July at the university. At the Endler Hall, you get to experience live performances, fusion performances. We've seen dances already, workshops. It's about spreading the love and that vital information. But let's plant that seed in you right now with a duet from the SU Piano Quintet. This is Chanda and Gila, and they are taking to the stage now to perform Ladies in Lavender by Nigel Hess. Enjoy. and power in the slightest touch. Please take a bow, you absolute superstars, from the 4th up until it's the 17th,
the 13th
of July. I'm trying
right.
to squeeze in a few more extra days there. Happening at Stellenbosch University. It's the Stellenbosch International Chamber Music Festival. It's a sharing of minds, it's a sharing of talent and a platform for artists that you might not normally see in the mainstream doing an artistic form on a different level. Wow.
And once again, looking fantastic too. It brings together fashion movement and classical music, not just for those that are well versed in the space, it's for everybody. They look great. We looked great today. I know that you look fantastic today, Expresso fam.
Love you, man.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, man, I have a feeling that last note, that really high note, that was one of the most difficult to play, and we got to see it live and we got to connect with you, and we'll do it again tomorrow. We love you.
Love you.
Have an amazing day.
Bye.
Another feel-good production.